Let's dive into all of this right now. Yeah. Every time I hear that music, I get my blood pumping and the coffee pot brewing. Oh man, it's Saturday night. It's good to be back on Saturday night. It's Saturday Night Live. It's the Market Show Live. I'm sure some of you've seen the banner, and I'm sure some of you see what kind of coffee spilling conversations, or maybe it's Jawa egg juice we're going to be talking about. And I did not forget the Spotchka. Come on. But look at who's in the house. Let's go down, because it's like, look, Will Foxfication, first time on the Market Show. Will, welcome.
Dude, thank you so much for having me, Aries. I'm so excited to be here. I'm feeling very calm, in a very good state, but that intro got my blood pumping. So I was very calm. I went from like all the way up here, dude. Yeah.
Awesome.
That was amazing. That was like, dude, I felt like I was at a rave. Like that was incredible.
You got a rave when you're talking about Star Wars hot toys, and look who's back. Kiko, what's going on?
What is up, everybody? And just like Will said, I do feel like I'm at a rave. Just give me some glow-in-the-dark, yes, some neon necklaces, and just like Venom and Let There Be Carnage. Yes. Let's come out with this thing and let's get this thing rocking. But thank you so much for having me back. Had a little bit of technical issues on my last rodeo, but I guess we were able to come back again. So thank you, Aries, and thank you, everybody, for letting me come out and hang out with you guys tonight.
Oh, I tell you what, I love both your guys' contents, and the videos that you put out. So it's a real pleasure to have you both on here, and Kiko to have you back. And it's a real pleasure also to have Rodrigo, one of Six Scale Mafia's crew, but also a Cantina insider. It's good to have an insider on. Rodrigo, what's going on?
Thanks for having me from the other side of the world.
Yes.
I think it's good. Mm-hmm. It's good. And hopefully gonna have fun night here for you guys and fun morning for me.
It's morning for you. Well, look, Rodrigo, I don't know what table you're at, but maybe we could get Weekway to come over. And
that's a lot of coffee.
Listen, we brew it. And
you guys know I've never drank coffee before in my entire life.
Oh, I'm with you on that. I think coffee is filthy. I do not drink coffee.
Filthy.
Coffee
not going that far.
That is perfect for you to spill, baby.
Yeah, spill. Yeah. Like, I don't like the smell of it. Just doesn't grab me. I don't know. Maybe it's just the smell. It's turned me off from it. I don't know. But
you know what's kind of funny? It's funny that you bring that up, because I do enjoy tea much better. I think it tastes better, but I gotta have coffee.
Gotta get that caffeine kick.
Yeah, you gotta have both.
Is it for the taste, or for the smell, or for the heat? What is the
or for the energy? For you?
The energy. What is it that drives you to brew that every single time?
Rocket fuel.
I don't know. Right? I think it's
That's
like
what it is.
You know, when you get that good whiskey, and it's like it doesn't taste like
I know
a
my whiskey.
Shake.
Hell yeah.
I don't drink either. So.
I don't know how to. I'm gonna have to ask the Hottoys wizard if he has some insight.
There you go.
As to why we feel this way. Look, already a great conversation in here Saturday night. We got the Mafia in the house. What's going on, Anthony?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Now it's just good to be here again, as always. I'm looking forward to talking all the good stuff tonight of Star Wars, man. We got a lot to talk about.
Well, we had a fun one last night on Dante's live stream from the band of Hot Collectibles. And KG, you were on there as well. How are you doing since last night?
Aries, I'm so glad to be here. I love talking about Star Wars. I want to hear some of that Star Wars knowledge from you, as always, man. Glad to be here.
And welcome to everybody who's in here. Let's just put some of the people up on here. We have Optical in the house. So good to have Optical in. We've had Optical out of the Market Show before. Optical, got to get you back in. My friend, always good times. So good to have him with us. We got JC in the house. Got to have the coffee. Well, there's someone else that likes coffee. JC, tell me in the chat. Answer these guys. What is the thing about coffee? Does it taste better than tea? Come on. Boston Collectors. Hot Toys drives us to brew. Yeah, and they drive us to the poorhouse, baby. right now. Star Killer in the house. Big Dog Pound. Master Imwe. Oh my goodness. Joe Fuzz. Coffee is America, baby. Yes, I guess so. The Man of Hot Collectibles. Coffee with rum.
Had to
Dante,
take
what
it
is
there.
going on? Dante, who couldn't be with us tonight because he's out, but tuning in. Good to have him in there. Lane Kramer in the house. Wow. And all of you, welcome everybody who's in here to the Market Show Live. And we're going to get right into it because we were talking Fabio in the house as well. Alien Queen. Look, we were talking backstage about, let's talk about the latest and greatest release. The latest and greatest, actually, from Hot Toys. And I'm going to go ahead and pull this up on the screen. Okay, so this was kind of surprising, KG. I'll start off with you. You're right below me here on the panel. We'll kind of go down. I woke up in the morning and it was almost like an announcement for me, but not the same as the Rex, because I said that with the Rex because I was waiting so long and we knew it was coming. It was almost like that. That was fresh. I was like, oh my goodness, Rex is here. Rex.
Yeah.
I forgot about this. And I didn't think that this was going to come out before Ahsoka. But what was your reaction when you saw this?
I was a little shocked that this thing came out because I think this is slated to April of next year, if I'm right?
Well, January to April.
January to April, right. And it's, I don't know, when I saw the final photos, I wasn't that all surprised. Like, when I was looking, I'm like, it's okay. You know, it's not something that for at least a casual Star Wars fan needs, you know? I think it's more of just, if you're a huge OT prequel fan and also the Mandalorian fan, this is a must-have. I know a bunch of people online that are buying this because of either from the prequels or the original trilogy or the Mandalorian show. This is a great figure to have. Right, and it's a great figure to have. I think if you're a very selective person like me, this is sort of a pass for me. It's a great figure to have. But you just have to pick and choose your lane with certain figures. But I'm happy for anybody who has this on order because this will look amazing on the shelf. If you have more than one coming, it looks even much better. So yeah, that's overall my thoughts. But yeah, I'm not that surprised with the photos. But yeah, I was expecting Ahsoka to be the next one. And that was a shocker to me. So
yeah, and Anthony, going to you, one of the first things that went through my head, I echo a lot of the things that KG was saying, was how little of this are they making? Because this was so far down on the bottom. I mean, it was very far down on the bottom of the list. So I don't think personally that they are producing these like Incinerator or Remnant Trooper or Death Watch Mando figure level, or even Heavy Infantry Mando level, which went on waitlist before it came out. But this does have, like KG was saying, some OT, some prequels appeal to it. Really. But one of the first things that went through my head, Anthony, was how little did they make of this for them to put this out now?
Yeah, it's an interesting, perspective. Like when you go look from Hot Toys, angles, like it's, you're right. The Raider can go pretty much across all of Star Wars, right? Doesn't matter. Like he's identifiable to any fan, group. But I don't think they would make a ton, right? Especially because as we were looking, there was so many. There's like at the bottom forever. There's not like a whole lot of interest, right? It's not like a Luke Skywalker or something sculpted. It's a grunt like we were talking about. So I don't think there's going to be a ton of them, but at the same time, I don't think they're going to be off the shelf very quick either. So it's kind of it's a tricky situation. Like I didn't pick them up yet, and I'd like to, but it's not like a high priority, right? And even then, I don't know how many I should get, and that's the problem too, because I think these guys, if they were much lower, like if we had like a pretty low $120, $150 price point for things like this, maybe I'm being biased, I'm not sure, but I think they'd sell a lot better. It's just when you're looking at the normal prices for what you get, it's really hard for I think a lot of people to just bite and grab one or especially multiples,
especially being a grunt, like you're saying there. And you bring up a good point. And Rodrigo, we were talking backstage too about this. Let me bring you into it. because Anthony touched on something. I do think there's going to be some OT fan appeal with this. I know there is for me, because I was so close to passing on this until I saw these pictures and a couple of the reviews or unboxings already. We're going to get into some of these original trilogy figures, which are off the charts. Rodrigo, how important will this be to some collectors to have this?
Yeah, I think if you don't have any, because I'm not getting this one, but the only reason I'm not getting this one is because I already have it, the sideshow version. And with the flood that we are, the big storm, as people are calling, with the amount of figures in Star Wars we're getting at the same time, I have to be at the minimum selective in this, at least in some parts. But if you don't have it, it's kind of a must, because it's one of the main 12. The first ones.
Yeah, it is.
If you watched OT and you enjoyed it, you kind of wanted to have one of these, right? And especially like somebody mentioned, if let's say they launch the Bantha in the future, which is a must for almost everybody, right? So you're gonna have to have one.
Yeah, and Kiko, I think this is where it's hard for me. And you know what I do? I do the market value chart, and I have 6scalecantina.com. I'm having a difficult time predicting this one. I feel like it can be in stock for a long time. I feel like it can go the way of the Jawa and Gonk Droid in that regard, although I feel like it's far superior than that figure. I feel like that, when you got to choose between this and Ahsoka, or this or Clone Wars Maul, or this and the Jango Fett or the Boba Fett 2-pack coming out, it's a no-brainer for many collectors that they'll skip on this. But I also don't know how many they made on this. What's your perspective on this?
I think you hit it right on the head, and I talked about it, as we mentioned backstage, is for me, this was an immediate pass because I wasn't very thrilled with the whole Jawa perception and how that was received. And for me, when I saw this, I was like, okay, this is basically a bigger Jawa 2.0, and wasn't that excited about it. From the pre-order to the reveal to the final product photos, I was not entertained by it. It is not something that I said, okay, and I get everything, but I still do not have any desire for this one. It's a niche figure, and I know just what Rod had said, it is part of the original Kenner 12, and so if that's, what you want to collect, and kind of, that would look cool, I suppose. But for me, it's what you said. Do you want to get a fully sculpted face of Maul, Ahsoka, or something like that for, $10 more or something along those lines? Or do you want somebody who's a backstage character that doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't click a lot of boxes for me. And I think that's the general consensus, is especially when we start talking about prices and pricing points, given the option, do you want Boba Fett or do you want a Tuscan Raider? Everyone's going to choose Boba Fett every time.
Yeah, and Will, going off of that, you've heard, the panel's comments so far. Yeah. What is your take on this?
Dude, I think Aries, I'm like right in the middle on this one, because this is actually a figure that I had on pre-order at one point, but when I was kind of trimming some of the fat, going through my Excel doc, saying like, what do I need? What don't I need? I mean, we don't really need any of it, but the ones I feel like I need, right? I'm looking at that and I'm saying like Tuscan Raider to me is one that I feel like I don't need. I'm a big Star Wars fan, but I don't feel like it's one that's going to complete my collection. It's not one that's really going to be really fulfill me in a way that I think is worth $250, $275, whatever you're going to end up paying for it, right?
It's not a shelf stealer,
Exactly. I mean, it does have presence. Like one thing I will say is sort of it's a saving grace. Like you guys were saying, it does have a lot of versatility in what it can offer. It can be an OG, it can be a prequel, it can be a Mandalorian. So if you're one of those who builds like diorama set piece displays, then I think this would be perfect for you. Because you could like recreate a scene really well with this, and like use these Tuscan Raiders, would get one or two of them, and make something look really special. Like I know there are collectors out there who don't simply line them all up, but they put them in like sort of cinematic type displays, right? I think that's the type of collector that would go for this, or just a completionist who really loves every Star Wars figure. But face value, the figure looks great. I think it looks great. The weathering should be more. I mean, it's not weathered nearly enough in my opinion, but at the same time, it looks really good. It's just one I feel like a lot of people are going to pass on, considering, like you guys mentioned, we are in the middle of the storm, as it's being called. Like, we're in the middle of a lot of figures dropping, a lot of pre-orders dropping. We got Spider-Man coming out. We got Eternals. We got, Black Adam. We got Batman. There's so much stuff coming out, like, in the future that's going to be announced. And think about all the other pre-orders that are going to drop in the meantime. And this is one I think is just going to slide under a lot of people's radars, kind of like Shore Trooper and Lando have done. I mean, they've like, a lot of people said they wanted those, but then they come out and it's like, but there's so much other stuff coming out. That's what happens with these figures. So
Yep.
that's my
No,
take on it.
it's a good perspective. And, it's 68 in here. Welcome to the Market Show live on Saturday night. So 68 in here already. Please go ahead and hit that like button while you're at it, because there's going to be some things that Mr. Chan needs to listen to a little bit later in the show for sure. Look, and people are asking me already, how is this going to go, Aries? Or this is an instant grill because they didn't make any. I actually don't know. It's going to be very interesting to keep an eye on. I think it could be in there for forever and a day. I also think it's possible that this could be got. It wouldn't shock me if this went on waitlist next week. I just don't know what Hot Toys did. Either way wouldn't shock me, which is the interesting thing.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be happy to get this, though. It might be a small group, but I think the people who really, really love Star Wars and have wanted this figure for a long time, I think Hot Toys, sometimes they throw us a bone. This is one of those, I feel like. This is like, they know they're probably not going to make a lot of money, but they can throw us this and be like, hey, here's something for collectors. Every now and then they'll do that, and I feel like this is kind of one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe we'll get into some of those other ones where they could throw me some bones, and Howard, I'll pour you and your whole staff some coffee.
There you go. Put some rum in it, right?
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I mean, this is a business, and they obviously have market analytics that show that there is an interest and they wouldn't put that up for production if they didn't think it was going to sell. So I'm sure they knew somebody, and several bodies are going to go for that. So, but I unfortunately am just not one of them yet. As I said, if it shows up in my local comic shop, I may change my mind if I see it in hand. But as of right now, I'm on a hold.
Yeah, it's a good point as well, Kiko. They certainly wouldn't make some of these figures if they didn't have marketing data, which is going to show that they're going to sell at least a certain amount of it, which is going to bring me to the next thing with 73 people in here. Welcome to the Market Show live on Saturday night. It's been a long time since Saturday night, but let me bring this up to everybody here. We're going to tie some things in, because I think that at the end of the day, and we'll start with you, and we'll go back up the ladder here. We'll kind of mix things in.
Yeah.
But I want to show you something in here. I think that probably with that figure, Rex, the 501st, the Death Watch Vandal. I mean, just look at Rex. This is sorted out best-selling wise. I kind of thought Rex was going to eventually become number one. Cody was never near here. And look at Lando, and give your perspective on Lando Calrissian.
Yeah.
Qui-Gon Jinn was never, ever this up top, guys.
Yeah. And it's interesting to me, Aries, because Rex I definitely expected. Rex I expected to be very hot, very popular. Lando, I did it first, but then I saw him release and just not a lot of people talking about the figure. And Hong Kong prices dropping dramatically because Sideshow was shipping them out pretty similarly. So like I just noticed there was not a lot of demand for this figure like people originally thought there was going to be. I think a lot of times us collectors can be like, we want this, we want that, we want this. And then when the time comes, like, oh, I wanted that, but I don't want to drop $275 on it right now. That's the problem. That happens so much. And I feel like Lando has fallen into that trap a little bit. I think he's one of those that he could be a secondary one that I think a lot of people go after later that it goes up in price, because he's probably not getting made again, in my opinion. But I don't know. I'm surprised to see him up there a little bit, to be honest, based on what I've seen so far. But the Troopers, I'm not. I mean, Rex especially. Rex is a very popular character. You know, some of the others, there's a lot of Trooper builders out there. That's what I can say. There's a lot of Trooper builders out there. And I think these are why Hot Toys makes these figures, because they're probably not that difficult for them to make and not that expensive. There's no likeness, right? And then people will buy 5 of them. So it's, I'm not shocked by the Troopers showing up where they are. I mean, Short Trooper, though, you can get him pretty cheap right now, honestly. So from Hong Kong sellers and other places,
It's a good point. And Will, when you go through this, and then we'll go to Rodrigo here, going off of what Will said, and then showing you this here, I don't think that we've talked about this in a couple of shows, and just going through past trajectories and really what's happened over the last year. These are probably, if they sit in stock for as long as the Incinerator Trooper, as long as the Death, the Death Trooper from Mando, the Remnant Trooper, the ESB 40th Vader, these are going to be gone. Many of these, especially if they're producing low quantities, possibly by January or February. I'm going long because I personally think a few of them are going to be gone before then. But if they do go, when you go down this list, it's very interesting because there's really not a whole lot then if these start exiting. And I'm bringing this up onto the screen because there's not a whole lot of figures to pre-order and that are in stock for Star Wars. And what I'm wondering is, because, you know, if I pull up, and I'm just going to pull this up real quick. If I pull up Marvel, and I'm going to do that right now, and I brought this up before, there's 92 figures. Actually, I think that there's more now because I'm not including Yelena. So there's 93 figures that are up for pre-order and that are in stock, and they are absolutely, you know, it's just so much more than Star Wars, Rodrigo. So I don't know, with how popular Star Wars is and how much Disney is doing with it, I almost can see if they don't come out with any announcements, you know, 30-something Star Wars figures in January or February. I don't think that that's possible. Do you?
I think it's possible. The way they've been doing, like,
yeah, I mean, it could
happen. Yeah, the thing is, when looking at Sideshow, that's one information that I learned this week is that, for example, all the customers from of Sideshow from outside the United States, for example, they are not allowed to buy several of the figures when they go out of pre-order. So, for example, I got a 501st on a pre-order, but now I can't buy from Sideshow. So now Sideshow has the amount of 501st only available for people in the US.
Yeah.
So that should skew a little bit on the idea of this is being sold because people are looking for it or not. Because I'm looking for it. I literally got 6 last night, but I couldn't buy from Sideshow. So that gives you a little difference on pre-orders and availables. Yeah, but like I said, Marvel has a lot of figures coming out, and
93. And I had to go to the second page here, Rod, for that. And Anthony, we'll go to you real quick. And I guess from what Rod was saying here, and on top of how I set the table for this, if these do go on wait list, or they didn't make very many of them, or they're not going to sit as long as the Jet Trooper, they're probably going to be gone here, whether it's 3, 4, 5 months down the road. So let's go to February. And what I am thinking that we're probably going to get pounded with some announcements, like we're getting pounded with some releases, but it's possible that maybe we don't get any announcements. And then it's just going to look like this. How do you think this is going to go?
Well, I think what's happening is here right now and I know we have like some more Marvel stuff coming out, like movies and whatnot, but I think we're kind of on this back end of the Marvel, like the pendulum's about to swing, I think, right? Because like you said, there's a ton of Marvel figures already, but look at all the Star Wars that is now being like pushed back earlier for early release with all the new shows coming. Like we've got like, you know, Book of Boba Fett, right? Obi-Wan, the Ahsoka show, season 3, Mando. Like there's gonna be a ton, right? Yeah. Exactly, right. So I think that's exactly what's happening right now. Like we see there's so much like oversaturated the Marvel market, but that's starting to dip down a little. We're having a couple figures per movie, you know, Endgame lines basically wrapped up. There's not much currently, I think, in that respect for Marvel, whereas versus how much Star Wars is coming, right? So no, I think this coming year is going to be like just Star Wars, like nonstop, and then we'll get like a couple Marvels in there, and hey, if we're lucky, maybe like a DC figure.
Kiko, is Anthony right on that, or is he onto something? I mean, is it possible that they're giving us all these releases not just because they want to get rid of them because they're not producing that many, but because they have a lot of announcements that they want to put out, so they want to get these out so they can do that? Or I'm also wondering, how does that even work, though? Because I just showed you how many Marvel there are. They can just come out with 20 releases this week and next week, announcements, and not even still touch Marvel.
It's funny to me because I know that in the 6 scale community, everyone always says, well, how much information do we really have on what Hot Toys is doing? And the answer is no one knows anything unless you work at Hot Toys. That's the way it always is. And that's why I love this show, is because we can speculate a little bit. It's almost like our own little like theory club, which is fantastic, which I love. But the thing about this is, going back to what Marvel is doing and what they're doing there, if it wasn't for Howard being a Star Wars fan, I don't think we'd even be getting this much. But the fact that he is a Star Wars fan bodes well for the Star Wars community. You look back to what Anthony said a few minutes ago about, we might get one DC figure. How many people clamored and said, please release Cyborg. We want Cyborg. We want Cyborg. Right. We need to have Cyborg. And I saw the lines for pre-orders for Neon Tech Iron Man on the same day, same time, as opposed to the day that Cyborg went up for pre-order, and it was like 10-1 in favor of Iron Man. There's a reason that you have 10,000 Iron Man different figures out there, is because that's what sells in those markets. And it comes down to business, and they know that they're going to sell. So the question is, what are they looking at as far as who they're trying to reach? Are they trying to reach their current demographic and their current market, or are they trying to expand a little bit more and reach that? Because Star Wars does not play as well as Marvel does in the Asian communities. And so I think there's something to that. And Howard being a fan is in our favor. But I don't think they're ever, still, even with the Star Wars releases coming out, I don't think they'll ever clip the amount of Marvel figures that are out there. But that's just my own opinion.
No, and that could be very possible. And KG, let me pull this up because, Kiko brings up a good point as well. But I do see that The Mandalorian is getting popular in Asia, and maybe that's what they're starting to do. They're starting to think about that market as well. And Star Wars is very, very hot worldwide. You got 4 shows coming out. So if they're going to come out with releases, in the fourth quarter this year, or ones that are going to come out quick, let me pull one up on the screen for you, because I really feel like this one is coming and is going to come real quick, fast, in a hurry, if not tomorrow. But let me pull it up. This is something that they not only teased heavily in their, prototype photos with this particular release. This is something that they teased at Sideshow Con. This is something that they just teased at New York Comic Con. And how many people, because of Hot Toys history, didn't actually pre-order this yet because they want to make sure they don't have to wait 4 years for Fennec Shand? Do you think that this is going to come out? Is it possible that this gets announced before the end of this year? What say you?
Oh yeah, I think 100%. Book of Boba Fett's imminent. It's coming pretty soon, and she's going to be in it. And I think right now Hot Toys is just waiting. They're waiting till that show comes out. I know it's labeled Mandalorian right now, but she's going to be in that show. And I don't think it would sell well if they're going to have 2 Fennecs from different, lines, right? So it makes sense for them to. It's a good marketing strategy where they're going to leave the Mandalorian line. It's labeled Mandalorian, but then once the Book of Boba Fett show comes, she'll be announced with the Book of Boba Fett label on the box. Yeah. But yeah, I think, once the show comes out, maybe the first episode, after the first episode, that's my guess, and then we'll get her. Because I think, I know a bunch of people are, because, we know that Hot Toys, they don't complete lines. They don't complete, like, for instance, Justice League, we finally got Cyborg, right? So, and I've been noticing people, because people text me, they go like, I'm waiting till I see Fennec, then I'll order the repaint with the throne.
Exactly, because this is an epic scene. You're right, and so you're gonna want to complete that piece before. You don't want to wait as long as Cyborg, right?
And I've noticed also people are waiting for the Bad Batch. They're not ordering every single figure until they get every single figure, right? So they're just waiting till we get Wrecker, Tech, and Crosshair. And we have been seeing Crosshair for many times now, and we haven't gotten an announcement for that one yet. So I don't know what's the holdup with Hot Toys, but for this one, it's going to happen because you cannot just release a throne with the Boba Fett without her. It's just impossible. They have to do it. So that's my thoughts.
Well, I'm still waiting for my Baze Malbus, by the way. Still waiting for that.
It'll show up in the mail any day now.
Is it possible, Kiko? Is it possible? Let me go to Will real quick on this one. Will, Fennec Shand, echoing off what KG said. Do you see this coming this year?
Yeah, I do. I think this is probably going to drop sometime around the time Book of Boba drops. That drops like right around Christmas, right? If I remember correctly. Yeah. So like I think sometime around there for sure. I mean, it's a Mandalorian line figure. I mean, Hot Toys is going to make everything Mandalorian that they can that makes sense to make. And Fennec definitely makes sense. If there's all these troopers and other characters in IG-11, Fennec's a pretty popular character. So I think, she's going to get made. Whether she'll fly off the shelves, I think she'll do pretty well. Like everything I think with the Mandalorian line attached to it seems to do pretty well. I don't know how it does in Hong Kong, but at least in the States, it does pretty well. So, and there's always a good secondary market for it. But yeah, I would think so. I think I'm surprised she hasn't been announced already, to be honest. But I think this is one that they've shown that actually is going to get made in comparison to say Zemo, where Zemo I have no faith that he's getting made. But like or like Wasp or not Wasp, Yellow Jacket, right? Or Corvus Glaive, like those you look at like that's never getting made. But this with Fennec, you're like I'm pretty sure she will. So I would say sometime around maybe they'll drop I don't know, some other version of Boba around the first couple episodes or something, and they'll drop a Fennec or something. But you're right, it goes perfectly with the throne, which is already up for PO. So it makes sense to drop her pretty soon. I think they will before the end of the year.
Yeah, and before we go to Rodrigo, Dutch has a plan. I do see your super chat, so don't worry. I'll be putting that up, Dutch, to talk about Kit Fisto for sure. But let me thank you, OG fan. When Star Wars was just Star Wars. Let's read this before we go to Rod on this. Thank you for the $2 bomb. Give me this announcement now. 2 Fennec Shands, please. Rod, I really do think that this one's coming now. I think it was part of their marketing strategy, whether it comes tomorrow or during the series or right when the series starts. I think that this is imminent. What say you?
I think so too, but yeah, from your mouth to not gods, but Hot Toys.
Hot Toys Wizards.
JC God, yeah.
Yeah, we just hope it comes out because this is a must. I mean, I'm gonna have to have at least a couple of these to pose one with and one without the helmet. But yeah, I think like you said, I don't believe they would wait until the Book of Boba was out for too long before to launch this, because people will forget a little bit of the scene that they want to actually implement,
right?
Which would be with the throne. So they want to get the boost on the sales for the throne, right? So it makes business sense. So yeah,
well,
I think, yes.
And Rod, if the Book of Boba Fett is successful, like the Mandalorian, or even close to being as successful as that is, she's probably going to be a pivotal character, and she's probably going to have a different outfit or two. And sometimes they do that too. They're not stupid. Disney will make sure that they can have extra figures, not just with Hot Toys, but with Hasbro and so on and so forth. It's marketing for them. So Anthony, I think that for Fennec Shand, get her out now, because then you won't want this, and it'll be hard to sell the other one that they're probably going to put out.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And as Will was saying, I'm in the same boat, dude. It's Mandalorian. I mean, I know we have a lot of like Hot Toys graveyard right now, like just for everything, but I think anything that has Mandalorian name on it is coming out. And that's like, I'll die on that hill, man. I think everything's coming out. Like and like you said, we saw like 3 or 4 of these at New York, at the Comic-Con. Like, why would they bring them out? Like, it's just a matter of time, man. Anything Mando moving forward is 100% coming out. And you guys are probably right. It would make sense for them to get it out now this year, because it's been going on forever, man. Like G.I. Joes, Transformers, I mean He-Man, all that stuff was like made to sell toys. Like it's the same concept, So they apply all that. Next season we're gonna get, I don't know how many, but we're definitely getting different outfits, So then they'll sell those, and then this one will be sitting there, and that's what I'm saying. Get it out now, because if there's a newer one.
Mm-hmm.
9 times out of 10, that's what people will go for, right? They're like, oh, well, I don't want that. There's a new version. So it's all about timing, right? Get it out. Make sure that people don't have any doubts. You know what I mean? Like, if you put out a second strand right now, then you're putting that doubt in people's minds, right? That they may change their mind in buying this first one. So yeah, it's all strategy, man. She's coming.
Yep. And with 100 in here, please go ahead and hit that like button. Welcome to the Market Show Live. We've got a full panel of awesome collectors in here today. Kiko, Fennec Shand, is this in the cars? Did Hot Toys map this out so that they can release this fourth quarter? What say you?
I say 100% that it is going to be tied to Book of Boba Fett because of the implications of her character to that. I really think as I saw you pull her up on the screen, it's got that Mando branding. I was trying to think back to another character that was revealed or previewed under a different banner or franchise. and it hasn't come to me yet, but I'm trying to think of what it is. But I fully believe that she'll be branded Book of Boba Fett, just because that's the first figure they want to get out for that. And so that's kind of my prediction on that. No doubt in my mind that she's coming with a head sculpt as well, because I think everyone wants their Ming-Na Wen. I know I certainly do. I've talked about that multiple times on our podcast as well. But yes, it's coming. It's going to be coming probably the week of Book of Boba Fett, if I wasn't to be too bold. So I definitely think it's on its way. Absolutely.
And Kiko, not Kiko. Well, thank you, Kiko. But go to KG. I got the K's mixed up. KG, I'm going to let you answer to this here with Dutch Has a Plan. Thank you for the $1.99 super chat. Still praying for Kit Fisto. Hashtag never forget. So let me say this about this. KG, is it possible, because they're producing figures, not just Star Wars? Look at Venom. Look at some of these other figures. Obviously, it's worth it to them. I think, Kiko, you were the one who was saying that they have a marketing strategy and that they look at certain things, even if they're only going to sell 2,000-3,000 of an item. Now they seem to be focused on not just having figures that sell like the best car Mandalorian. Not every release is going to sell 20,000 US, 20,000 Europe. So, Kit Fisto, I don't think it'd have any problem selling 3,000-4,000. Are you kidding me, in the US? But what do you think about this? I think this is coming, actually.
Yeah, this was a surprise because I think Kit Fisto is one of the coolest Jedis out there, especially in Revenge of the Sith and also the Clone Wars. And I don't know why. It's the same thing with Mace Windu. It's one of those characters, it's one of those Jedis where people really want. I think it's because when Force Awakens and Last Jedi, between those times, people hated Star Wars. Even the people in Hong Kong, they didn't really like Star Wars, didn't care about Star Wars. So at that time, they were making Star Wars figures, these prototypes, and showing them in cons, but they were not making half of them, or at least like 75% of them, right? So
there was a bad taste in people's mouths back then because of all the negativity.
Right. And now with Star Wars jumping up, and now we're getting these series, with these amazing projects that we're getting from, Lucasfilms and Disney, I see them doing it, either if it's going to be Revenge of the Sith or, Clone Wars label. Because he was in Clone Wars, right? So they could do that. Mace Windu. If we get Mace Windu, Kit Fisto, and some other Jedis, it just makes a lot of people happy, like Dutch Has a Plan. And also, I think all of us in the panel as well. So.
Well, and let me go to Will on this. Yeah. Look, I really think that they're going to start focusing a lot on Star Wars, especially with how big it's becoming with Disney and what Favreau and Filoni have done, at least so far, to kind of turn the series around. And even a big Star Wars nutcase like myself, during the Solo movie and The Last Jedi, I really was bummed out, where even though I still love Star Wars, and I didn't really have as big of a problem with those movies, except that they killed Luke, which was the biggest problem in the world. But I wasn't into anything. I just didn't want to be bothered. So I was kind of like, okay, the Anakin sat in stock, the dark side Anakin, the Emperor sat in stock. Now you can't keep anything in stock. Look at the Lando right now. I bet you if they would have released that Lando, Will, during the Solo movie, would it be doing as good as it did now?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know, man. That's a really good question. I think you make a really good point, though, about Star Wars. I think what Kiko was saying, though, I do agree. Like, I just think Marvel's pumping out so much content, it's impossible for Star Wars to keep up. Like, Marvel's putting out movies and shows. Star Wars just putting out shows. So, I mean, that's kind of my logic with it. But you make a really good point. I'm the sequel apologist, though. So, like, in the community, like, I'm the one who loves the sequels. So, like, I Last Jedi is my least favorite, but I still like it. I still like Last Jedi. But so maybe I'm not the right person to ask about this, but at the same time, like, I do know what you're talking about, because when the sequels were out, and I actually didn't get, long into collecting after I started watching the sequels, and I bought like basically every Star Wars figure I ever wanted for very cheap. Like, I got like a New Hope Chewbacca for like $200 brand new. I got like, Obi-Wan Kenobi, a New Hope for like $230. Han Solo never opened, a New Hope for like $215. Like I got all the figures I wanted. Yeah, I got all the figures I wanted because Star Wars was very low at that point. Like, the sequels, they weren't inspiring a lot of collectors, and people were even unloading original trilogy figures for cheap. So I jumped on that. Now I got really lucky because looking where everything's at now. But Mandalorian, I think that's 100% due to the Mandalorian. The Mandalorian has changed everything in the community in terms of collecting and buying toys. I mean,
Right.
I mean, Baby Yoda, Grogu was everywhere, dude. He's on cereal boxes. He's on like clothes.
To do Mickey Mouse, baby.
Right, and exactly, dude. And it's like, and dude, I mean, as much as I love the sequels, Kylo and Rey and everyone else was sitting on the shelves. No one was buying those figures except for me. So, you know, and that's understandable. But yeah, I think, I mean, releasing Lando at a better time. I just think Lando coming out now is difficult because I just feel like he's coming out at the same time as everything else, and like he's just kind of getting. Like I maybe he's popular, I don't know, but it just with the prices I've seen, it just doesn't feel, and I don't feel the excitement for him. You know, maybe I'll feel it later, but yeah, I just Star Wars is very, very hot right now. But I just in terms of keeping up with Marvel, like, and I think Marvel obviously sells better from what we always know in overseas. Like Marvel sells a lot better. So and Marvel's pumping out more content. So yeah, but Star Wars, you're right. I don't think Kit Fisto gets made personally, but. As much as I think he would look cool, if he gets made before a Mace Windu or Episode 3 Palpatine, that seems crazy to me. Like, that seems like lunacy. And I don't think a lot of people would buy Kit Fisto, but that's just me. I mean, I think diehards would, but I don't even think most collectors know who Kit Fisto is. Like, I think unless you're like a diehard Star Wars fan, you'd probably be like, he looks cool, but I don't think they really know, unless you're a diehard Star Wars fan, I don't think you'd really know who he is.
I think if they're gonna, you bring up a great point there because it is. I mean, how do you put that out before a base? Look, how do you put out some of these figures before C-3PO?
That's a very good point.
Oh,
very
my
fair.
God. But I'm right with you. But you know how like they come out with some of these Venomized figures, they'll come out with some of these specialized figures, they'll come out with that Anthony, like that vintage color Boba Fett. So, is it possible that it's like, okay, and I think they made a lot of that vintage color Boba Fett, personally, but are they going to make like, a white Boba Fett prototype figure, a Venomized Grogu, for lack of a better phrase? Some
I
of
would
these
be
figures,
all over a Venomized Grogu.
I wouldn't be shocked, honestly. Don't put that
know.
idea out there, Aries. They'll take it and run with it.
Yeah, well,
Just
what I mean, guys,
cross
is
over.
like it's just a few figures that they only make 2,000-3,000. What do you guys think? Are they going to do that with Star Wars?
Yeah, I mean, it's rough, man, because we're in like a whole new world now. I mean, like just to kind of bounce off what Will was saying, like Star Wars, like for us is like it's just Star Wars, right? Period. It doesn't matter, good or bad. We still love the original stuff, right? But Star Wars had this like hype forever, and then it had this up and down, right? And the prequels came out, and it kind of a lot of people didn't like the prequels. And then the animated shows kind of started bringing it up, and the younger generation started it, and then it kind of plateaued, right? And it was just like everybody could agree, okay, Star Wars is Star Wars, whatever. Then the sequels came out, and like the interest was not even like on par anymore; it just tanked, right? I mean, there's a few like Will, and then others. I mean, I get it. There's people that do enjoy it, but the vast majority was like, what the hell did we just witness? Everything just got so discombobulated.
With the fandom.
The fandom.
It did make $4 billion. All three movies, I will say.
Well, I think we all went and saw Force Awakens.
Yeah, Force Awakens made a lot of money
because it was like, holy shit, there's an episode 7 finally, right? But
and it was good.
That's the thing. Yeah. No, Will's right. I'm just saying, like it tanked the perception of Star Wars, and then Mandalorian hit, and it was like, oh shit, now Star Wars is back. So it changed this whole. The hype is back. You know what I mean? So it's a weird spot. Like he was saying with Lando, it's in a weird spot too because you want Lando, but the timing is all crazy with all these other releases because of the new hype.
Yeah. Well, I think where Filoni and Favreau are doing it right. I did like the sequels as well, but what I really hated was what they did with Mark Hamill. But not to get into that.
Yeah.
But I feel like what Favreau and Filoni did better. I feel like they were trying to get a whole new generation of people to get into Star Wars, which I feel like they accomplished with the sequels. But I feel like with The Mandalorian, they're doing so much of a better job. Not only are they making us happy, or people like you, Anthony, happy, with the sequels, the hardcore fans. Now they're bringing in people, you got how many people watching The Mandalorian, not because they're Star Wars fans, but because of Mickey Mouse, baby, because they want to see what's going to happen with Baby Yoda. They want to see what's going to happen there. Rodrigo, I'm going to go to you next here. Let me first read this from OG Fan. When Star Wars was just Star Wars. Thank you, my friend, for the $5 bomb. And of course, Boba Fett is the most feared bounty hunter in the galaxy. Must have all Boba Fetts. Do not sleep on the Boba Fett 2-pack. Thanks, Aries and panel. Well, thank you, OG Fan. No, we've talked about that a lot, that Boba Fett 2-pack, and we'll see about getting into that in a little bit. Rod, let me go to you real quick here. I'm going to point something out. Let me go to, perhaps for some of you, a familiar site, 6scalecantina.com. And I'm going to go to the market value chart real quick. And I'm going to type in Snowtrooper. And let's see if I can even get through it all before it comes up on the screen. And you can see right here, another figure that is trending up recently, Rodrigo, is the Empire Strikes Back Snowtrooper, MMS 397, now $492 and rising. So it's $8 away from the $500 tier range. So, Rod, is it possible that one of these announcements could be a reissue, and it could come in the way of 40th anniversary packaging? And basically, with this figure here, with this Snowtrooper that was released some time ago for the Empire Strikes Back, could this be, because we're talking not only about possible announcements, but possible reissues? What do you think about this, and how do you think this would do if they did it?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to relaunch this as a 40th year commemoration. At least in my opinion, it's just that even the Battlefront figures, they didn't do very well on the sales market. They were like a long time available.
The 2-pack Battlefront, yep.
Yeah, like a long time. I have it, but like I said, unless I had since I have the Tauntaun, I have it in assembling. Otherwise, it's not a figure that it's that. How did KG said it doesn't have like a big shelf presence. And there's a lot of other things that they can still bring from Empire Strikes Back, other than this one. Taking also into account that even though the it's going high in the market right now, it's just because there's so few that's available right now. So I wish they did, but I don't think they will.
Let me actually go to Kiko. Kiko, how about the Snowtrooper? All these Snowtroopers, and Rodrigo brings up a good point. May not, for him, but I've known from some other people, they're like, I wish they would reissue this because they have to spend $500 to get it.
Yeah, the Snowtrooper and the Scout are my two favorite trooper designs. I love those, and I unfortunately got stuck with having to foot the bill for the 2-pack because I had to have them, and they look incredible. So I will say that I think they fill out a shelf really nice. I actually have a little Black Series probe droid that sits right in front of them, so I think they look really cool together. But the idea of a reissue for these, I am going to side with him as well, saying no, because they kind of already did once. They did this, and then they're like, okay, do you want 2 of them? We'll give you 2 in the Battlefront version. And once again, that's kind of like round 2. And I don't know if they're going to go for round 3 for just a Stormtrooper, a Snowtrooper. As much as people would love to see that, because I think they are beautiful. I love them. They personally, for me, they do stand out. But I don't think they're going to do another round of this because they've already done it twice already.
All right, let's go to KG. KG, your thoughts on the Snowtrooper? Possible reissue, or are you with Kiko and Rod?
I'm with Kiko and Rod. I think, I have not seen them do 3 reissues at once with a figure. I think it's mostly done by the second round. I mean, look, Star Wars, they could. I mean, that figure, if it was an Empire Strikes Back, was one of the coolest designs for a Stormtrooper. But yeah, I'm with Rod and Kiko here. I don't see them doing a 3rd reissue on it. But who knows? Hot Toys is Hot Toys. They have weird ways in their marketing strategy. So I mean, that's my thoughts.
Anthony, Will, what do you guys think about Snowtrooper Empire Strikes Back?
Well, I think it's badass, to be honest, and it sucks because we bring that point up, previously, that if certain things were released now, would they sell better? And I think absolutely. I mean, even in the wake of all the new, Filoni Favreau stuff, I think these guys would absolutely still sell because it's tricky with troopers. Like, my regrets out of most of my Star Wars collection are troopers that I don't have. Not the actual figures, for me. Because I have those, right? So you sleep on certain figures, and especially when Star Wars wasn't all that great, why would you pick up a trooper? You know, so it stinks that there's a lot of these awesome troopers that a lot of us have missed out on. And I'd absolutely, I would pick it up right away. I don't think they'll redo it though, like you guys were saying.
Yeah, I might pick that one up if they did it, even though I don't collect troopers. So it'd be very interesting. Before we go to you, Will, on that, I just want to acknowledge Tez Jaswi, and hopefully I'm doing that okay. Thank you so much for the $9.99 bomb, and love for you, Kiko, and really excited that you're on the panel here. He said big fan of Kiko and his pics on Instagram, and lots of love to everyone. So, and usually gets more excited about all the announcements. So thank you so much for that. Really do appreciate the chat. But Will, before we go to you here on the Snowtrooper, is it possible that the Hot Toys wizard is here? Oh, it's just the maestro. It's the man of hot collectibles. What's going on, my friend?
How you doing, guys?
buddy?
Nice to see. So, KG, Anthony, Will, Kiko, Rod,
Good to see you, man.
and everyone on the chat. I was actually watching and said, you know what? I can have some time now, so let me see if I can join.
But look, you just boosted it to 114, 116 watching.
Oh, okay. So that worked, I guess.
The Wizard of Oz, dude.
But
the wizard behind the curtain. Just, you pull it down, and this is Dante.
But nice to meet you in person or camera, I guess, Will, and also Kiko. I watch you guys all the time. I actually watched one of your gaming sessions. You know, I don't play video games. Yeah, I don't play video games. I used to when I was a bit younger, but you guys play like Last of Us.
Yeah, dude. If you ever want to join us, let us know because we're really bad. We need help. So.
My son is actually pretty good at Last of Us. Like
really?
He plays all those games.
Well, does he want to play with us? Because he can help us.
I can tell him.
Okay.
I think he's one of he's one of those ranks. Whatever he says, I'm like, okay, that's good.
Because Anthony's supposed to help us in Call of Duty, but he still has yet to carry us. So we need him.
Just let me know when.
We need to, Anthony, put us on your back, bro. You need to take us to victory.
We'll roll it, man.
Yeah. And don't get banned like last time.
Oh God.
So Will, I'm going to go to you, but I want to ask you a separate question. So I'm only going to give you like 10 seconds to answer.
10 seconds. Okay,
so yes or
10
no?
seconds. Will it get reissued? Don't think so. I'm going to say that I didn't even know the second one existed. So I'm going to say that tells you that I don't think it's going to get reissued because not a lot of people know about it. And I'm a casual, pretty good Star Wars fan. So there's just so many troopers. And I think there's just a million options. There'll be a million gazillion other troopers in Boba Fett and then the next season of Mando. So I think the Hot Toys has their plate full right now.
All right. Well, Will, let's stay with you. And let's go to this because this is something that I think is going to be happening. And is it possible that when you look at certain trends that are going on with other companies, such as the Black Series for Hasbro, you know, they already have their Timothy Oliphant head sculpt, which obviously he approved. And you can see that this released right here. And one of the things, Will, that Hot Toys has teased twice now is Cobb Vanth. Mm-hmm. And they already are in production with this armor, with this jetpack, with this helmet. And certainly this character, I think, is going to be in the Book of Boba Fett. Maybe there'll be a flashback scene that'll show how he got this armor from the Jawas. But I don't think you're ever going to see this character, the Marshal from Justified, baby, in this again. If they're going to do this, I feel like they got to do it now. So 2 questions for you. Are they going to do this now? Is this one of the announcements to fill the gap? And are they even going to do it?
Yeah, those are both really good questions. I'm going to say yes and yes because like I said, I think everything Mandalorian with the Mandalorian tag on it is coming out. The only thing is maybe Axe. What was it? Axe. What's his name? One of the troopers with Bo-Katan. Like
Axe Wolves.
Yeah, he's the only one I don't think gets made. But everyone else, like even Koska, I wouldn't be shocked to see Koska go up for pre-order at some point because I just think everything Mandalorian is hot right now. I think people would buy her. So, but Cobb Vanth is very, very popular, and I think people really like this outfit. I think you would definitely get a head sculpt. I feel like you can't even make it without it, and you're just reusing parts for half of the costume. Yeah. So. I mean, it's a very easy one for Hot Toys to do. I feel like maybe it's just a hang up with the approval of the likeness. But like you said, Hasbro got the approval from Timothy Oliphant, so it's definitely not impossible. But I think yes, I wouldn't be shocked to see this go up for pre-order by the end of the year, like before Boba comes out. I think, like you said, something to fill the gap to drop this. If not, Maybe it goes the route of a Jango Fett that just comes out like 2 years after it's teased. I mean, but that would be, you know what I mean? That I don't want to put that evil on us, but at the same time, like that could happen. But I would expect to see this one. I'm shocked it hasn't come out already, to be honest. I think he's very popular. The figure looks great. It's a reuse for a lot of parts. Like it's easy to do probably. Like I don't know why he's not up already, but yeah, I would expect to see him soon.
Well, and let's go to the Maestro for the first time tonight, since we've got the Metal Hot Collectibles in the house. Look what I got right here. I've got the Jawa egg juice Dante. So is it possible? Like, I think, like Will thinks it's possible. Are they going to give us Cobb Vanth?
That's a good question. You know, at this point, I think they are gonna, because you know that's a character that's I think is kind of easy to make. They already have pretty much everything they need. Maybe you know they're still working on the head sculpt because they haven't shown anything in terms of a head sculpt, but I think it is very possible that we can see that one. Now, I don't know if it's gonna be before the end of the year or maybe Q1 next year, because sometimes with hot toys is really, they're kind of unpredictable. You know, for example, like Jelena, I didn't see that coming at all. I was thinking they're gonna do the Red Guardian first, but they just throw that out at us. So you know, I think you know if they want to do something cool, I think it would be perfect if they do it with this and also Hasculp. You know, but I think it's very possible. Yeah,
Anthony, what say you? Cobb Vanth.
I think he's, again, you know, they showed it off. He's Mandalorian. He's coming. Timothy Oliphant's awesome. You know, Deadwood, Justified. I mean, like that alone, if they give the head sculpt, that's a day one for me as soon as he's announced, man. Not only just because it's Mando, but I just, like I said, I love him. And I loved that he was able to get in and now he's a character in the Star Wars universe. So yeah, I think he's coming this year, hopefully, if not like early, because I'm telling you, man, these guys are coming. I don't think they're just putting these out just to, you know, tease and then disappear forever. Maybe some of the older stuff, but not Mando stuff. Not at all.
Yeah, and that was a good point that someone here on the chat brought up before on the panel, that, you know, hey, they teased a lot like the Kid Fisto, and we were talking about that or this or that back in the day where no one was really hot on Star Wars because of, you know, the divisiveness in the community. So I feel like now you may be onto something, that what they're showing might come out. But let's go to KG. They're going to give us Timothy Oliphant. Are they going to do this while they're producing the Boba Fett 2-pack? What say you?
Oh, I hope so. I mean, look, they're basically reusing the Boba Fett 2-pack accessories, right? So it's easy for them. I mean, it's a remold, right? So out of all the showcase that they have shown for these figures way back in the summer sideshow, whatever I think it was called, con, and this one was the best one for me. Like, this is, if they announce this is a day one pre-order. I love this figure. I love what it stands for, the way it looks, and the way it's just it's very dirty, and I loved it. I love it. And the first episode was my favorite episode out of, you know, one of my favorite episodes from season 2. And they better give us a Timothy Oliphant head sculpt. I mean, you just can't do it without
they have to.
I know people are like, oh, well, you know, I don't really care because, you know, the helmet thing. But I'm like, it's cool to have, you know, Timothy Oliphant's face on this, you know, body. I think it's pretty cool. I can't wait. Hopefully they do it. But it's just a matter of time, right? So, I mean, look, if Hasbro's doing it, right, and they already have that sculpt, I think this guy could come out next week.
Yeah, I really do. And Rodrigo, let's go to you before we go to Kiko on this. Look, I think they have everything they need here. And I think this is an easy exclusive or something that they don't got to even make a whole lot of. And it's just easy.
I agree. I think that's coming. I'm hoping that it doesn't come in this storm at the moment, because I think everybody forgets. People are saying, "Oh, Star Wars is very hot right now" and stuff. But the problem, for example, right now is that anything that comes out, it competes, for example, with 501sts, right? Which is people army build. So people that usually buy 3-4 figures, if they want an army build, they're gonna have 3-4 501sts, for example. So it's like competing with a blockbuster. I think it's coming out. I hope it comes out by the holidays. But hopefully after this, at least the 501st and like Rex sold out, you know, like Cad Bane, like everybody's talking about, they want Cad Bane coming out. It's just,
Yeah, hopefully they give us a year, which, some of these that are coming out, it's like, it's been getting earlier. You're thinking you're waiting 2 or 3 years. And that's a good point, Rod. And Kiko, let's go to you last on Cobb Vanth before we go to the next one. What do you think about this character being an announcement?
I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on, if that's okay, and really get out there. So, obviously, I love the business side of these things. And obviously, they have the licenses to Star Wars, to Marvel. Let's think about Marvel for a second. When they obviously have the dockets that have WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, all that stuff, they've obviously started the production for the spoiler-ish episodes. Obviously, we got White Vision. We ended up getting Sam Wilson in the Captain America outfit. So they know what these product placements are going to be ahead of us. So they have the list of who is coming in those shows. Mm-hmm. So I think if they go to the Star Wars route, and they have the Star Wars license, they said, okay, here is our list of people that are going to appear in Book of Boba Fett. And I think they looked at that and they said, okay, let's hold these figures for the Book of Boba Fett, or they hold these figures for the Kenobi show, because they say, okay, I know that we can make a fortune on these if we market them all properly. So I think there is a secret list in Howard's office of these figures that are coming, and I think Cobb Vanth will be a Book of Boba Fett character. That is my speculation on that, as well as Fennec, and I think there's a few other surprises, once we get into the Ahsoka series, the Kenobi series. I think we'll be getting a lot of things that we're happy about, simply because they're going to market it that way. So that's my tinfoil hat. I think they do know, and they're just being sly about it.
Yeah, and I think, you get me really excited with what you're talking about all this stuff that they have, because I'm not going to be able to sleep because I'd be so excited. So I'm going to have to brew a whole lot for myself. Look, you guys can see right here, this coffee, I drink a lot of it every single day. All right, listen, Anthony, we're going to go to you with this one first. And so what I'm mixing in here is I'm mixing in possible announcements and possible reissues. I'm going to put one up on the screen. I want your reaction initially, Anthony, if this is going to be a reissue of sorts or a reissue. Because I think you probably hear from a lot of people that they would want it. Go.
Yeah.
I mean, this is getting close to $600.
I know, and I have him. So look, I'm with Rodrigo, man. I hate reissues, man. So he's popular.
Reissue
right?
or Rogue One? Reissue or Rogue One? They did the Short Trooper Rogue One or Clone Wars or Bad Batch.
Right. So that's a little different because they are different.
That's what I mean, reissue of sorts.
Yeah, like if it's a 1-1 clone of A New Hope, yeah, I'd be upset about it. But if they brand it right, either Bad Batch or Rogue One or something, they slightly change it. Just slightly change it. I don't care if it's the sculpt or the uniform, just or maybe he doesn't have a chair. Okay. Then I'd be cool with that. But that's just my opinion. Like that's my initial reaction because I just hate like carbon copy reissues. But yeah,
I wouldn't give you the chair.
No, probably not. Because he's gained a lot more momentum now that we're back, in the Star Wars.
Well, and look at Krennic. I mean,
yeah.
Same.
All right, let's see. Dante, Moff Tarkin, is he coming in a reissue? Is he coming in somewhat reissue? They're going to give us a Rogue One of him. Something of him.
All I can say is Obi-Wan.
Yeah, you're right. And don't forget the Andor series too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Obi-Wan is first, I think, right? Or is Andor?
Yes, but I mean, he could. You're right. It is first, but
they can probably do both. I mean, most likely in Obi-Wan, because I think we're gonna see a lot of the OT characters in that show, because it's just the closest thing we had to the original trilogy. So it will make more sense to drop that character in Obi-Wan than Andor. Not to say that they will not do it, but most likely it's gonna be in the Obi-Wan show. That will be sick though, because
it would be sick. Yeah, you're right, Dante. And before we go to you, Will, to answer this and then get your thoughts on Tarkin.
Yeah.
Josh Wraith with the $5. Thank you. But at Will Foxification, is it worth the price like Yelena? I think he's referring to the Cobb Vanth. So what say you?
Yeah. This is Aries. I don't know if you know the context of this one. The reason I'm being asked is because we were actually on Layout 1/6 Scale Man's show the other night, and we had a big discussion about Yelena, and I took a lot of heat because I said basically that the figure was not. I mean, like it's a really good looking figure, but I was like saying I don't think people are going to buy it because it's $270. She's a side character. There's so much coming out. and turned into like this big whole thing where I took a lot of heat for it. So I think that's what he's referring to. But yes, I would absolutely buy a Cobb Vanth over Yelena. I absolutely would if that's the question. Like Cobb Vanth is just cooler to me, but Yelena's cool. I don't want to get on that soapbox again, but it's just a matter of like, I think she's cool, but I don't think she's worth $300. What you're going to pay.
No, she's a D-list character at best. I agree with you.
Yeah, and she's great, and like Florence Pugh is great in the role. Like, Yelena's great. I know it's a Star Wars show, not to get on that, but
no,
but yeah,
the figure
she's
looks great too. But
yeah, she looks great. The sculpt's incredible, but it's just my point is I just don't think people are going to buy her in mass. Some people will get her and be very happy, but I think there's so much. There's Book of Boba coming out, Eternals, Spider-Man, like we have a Black Adam and Batman. There's so much coming out.
Right.
Yeah,
but also.
Yeah, sorry, Dante, go ahead.
Sorry, no, just one little thing. And you're right. So, another thing is that, as Kiko mentioned before, when they drop a figure, they know the market. They know who, the people are going to be buying it. So, yeah, absolutely. I mean, not everyone is going to get a figure, and it's going to be, only a few people getting it. Hey, it's going to be a low pre-order numbers. It's going to be released probably sooner and get sold out quicker. They're going to make their money anyway. So. Yeah.
Hey, there you go.
Well, and Will, I'm going to stay with you to go with you with this. Let me throw something else because this figure is out of this world in the secondary market. So in my view, they can easily sell as many Landos, which is a short run for this. But let me bring something else, and you could talk about this or talk about this with it, because this is another one of the most highly sought after pieces.
Yeah.
They could actually make you now, look, they can do this with a straight reissue, or think Nightmare Batman with the dark suit Superman. You got another Darth Vader that's going to be coming out, maybe several, with the Obi-Wan series, and they're probably going to have Peter Cushing in it. I don't know, but it wouldn't shock me if a 2-pack of this would come out, like another 2-pack of Han and Chewie, which I think is coming.
Yeah, Aries, I would be thrilled, to be honest, because this is a figure, 2 of them actually, that I wasn't able to get my hands on because the prices were still ridiculous, even at the time when I was buying low on everything. Like, the New Hope Vader is my favorite look for Vader. I love the rugged, sort of weathered look to it, like the textures on the suit. It looks very like battle damage and even simplistic compared to the other ones. Like, that doesn't even have a light up chest box. Like, it's very simplistic and, kind of intimidating, I think. I like the look for New Hope. The helmet has a lot more weathering to it. But I like this version a lot more than the irregular New Hope Vader because, like, the gloves look kind of weird and it just didn't look... It was like, I think, one of the first Hot Toys Vader Vaders they did. So it just didn't quite look right compared to this one. I feel like they really hit their stride with this one. And the Tarkin sculpt is incredible. It really is. I would totally buy this, Aries. I don't know. I mean, it's tough to say because I think with Star Wars characters, it can be a little tricky sometimes because a reissue is, in my opinion, a little less likely. Like, with Iron Man, it's easy for them. They'll be like, oh yeah, it's Iron Man. We know. Absolutely. But with this, maybe it'll wait for like another anniversary or something, like maybe the 50th anniversary, or it could be a long wait. But
50th anniversary, that for sure. I think they can do that.
Yeah, or maybe like you guys have said, like maybe Tarkin shows up in Obi-Wan, or maybe he shows up in something else and we get a Tarkin. But I would love to get these. If they reissued this, I would absolutely get it. Yeah, I think it would be absolutely worth it. And maybe if they improve even on Vader a little bit. Tarkin, you can leave exactly how he is. I think he's perfect. But Vader, I've seen some suit peeling and things like that. So, if they can remedy some of those issues, I could see this being a reissue. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the market's there for it. I mean, I'm hoping they reissue Darkseid Anakin, though. Because
we're going to get
Aries, I cashed in on mine. I had mine, and I bought it at retail. And then I sold it for like $750. I was like, I love Darkseid Anakin. I miss him. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm not missing out on an opportunity to cash in on 3 times value. So,
yeah, well, I'll tell you what, we're gonna this Tarkin, and then I'll pull this up on the screen and go to KG. Tarkin, the Tarkin 2-pack, the Vader, the improved Vader, like Will was talking about, KG, and or this, which forget about it in the secondary market. And I personally think that the reason this sat where it did was because not even I was thrilled about Star Wars during that time, and it had really nothing to do with the movie. It just had to do with the vibe and having to justify to everybody that I'm a Star Wars fan at that point. So thank goodness that's over. But, like Anthony was talking about before, KG, maybe they could reissue this in a 2-pack, like the Nightmare Batman. Do not give you this lava droid. What do you think about these?
Oh yeah, it's possible. And we've seen it with Nightmare Batman, like you said. It's a good reference because that figure, that was a grail for many people, and it was not that popular until it sold out. Then people had FOMO, and then a couple years have passed. Then we got the Zack Snyder Justice League cut, and then they reissued it, but not just fully reissued everything. They had to put it in a 2-pack, but without the base. I think the only difference was the base. Now with Kenobi coming pretty soon, I've heard there's some flashback of Revenge of the Sith towards the end. So I see a reissue on this, but with a 2-pack. I think it's going to be either a Obi-Wan and a Anakin 2-pack, or Anakin with Darth Vader. That's what I see, but without the base, without this amazing base, so they can leave that exclusivity towards the original piece. So.
Yeah, I think it's too high in the secondary market, and then you got the excitement of Hayden Christensen being signed back in, Kiko, for them not to be at least taking a look at this and realizing, hey, there's going to be people that will jump on this at this time. What do you think?
I want to take all these in one. Going back to the Tarkin as well, I think you run into issues because whenever you're dealing with a deceased person's estate, you always have to deal with that. And same thing with Christopher Lee. I'm wary about Dooku re-releases as well. All that to say is that Tarkin, going back to the Snowtroopers, that would be his third release because they did the 2-pack and they did the 1-pack, the single version of Tarkin. I don't know if they do a third one unless you can work out the estate issues, with the Peter Cushing estate. So that's interesting to see. Mm-hmm. But to Darkside Anakin, I know people have been clamoring for that for a while, and I don't know if they're holding it simply because of a stick it to you moment, because they're like, hey, now you guys want this when you didn't want it back in 2018. We'll make you guys wait just a little bit longer. As much as I don't like the reissues, I think that is probably the most likely, especially because the love for Hayden Christensen that is out there right now. When hopefully this isn't too many spoilers, but they kind of announced yesterday that he's coming back for Ahsoka. I think most people already know that. If you're in here, you probably already know that. But he's coming back for Ahsoka. And so I think that is going to just elevate the love for Hayden Christensen even further. And I think there could be a legacy, kind of what KG was talking about with the Batman 2-pack. Perhaps there is a dark side Anakin and a Force Ghost Anakin or something like that they kind of put together. That way it kind of adds some exclusivity, but also changes it up a little bit. But the sky's the limit. I would love to see what Hot Toys would do with a Force Ghost anything, just to kind of see how that would translate.
And plus, I just want to mention that the reason why they did that is because they know that it will bring money for them, right? So it was an easy cash grab for them. And now they're seeing this trend with Anakin, dark side Anakin. Why not capitalize on that?
Yeah. And real quick, let me read Cobra's collection. Thank you so much for the $5 bomb. And I'm going to read it and take it off quick because we're blocking the Man of Hot Collectibles. Not your fault. It's just a screen there, but thank you so much. Spill the coffee. Give me my deluxe Luke Skywalker and Fett on the throne. Love you guys, and thank you for answering my super chat. Look, we'll let Dante answer that real quick, and I'm going to take that off. I mean, the way that they're coming out with things early, I do think that you can get that in the second quarter, but I think they're probably maybe the one on the throne. I think that they would save the Luke more towards the Mandalorian season 3, and I have a theory. And thank you so much, Cobra's collection, for the $5 bomb. Dante, I have an opinion on that. I've heard from the Hot Toys Wizard that Grogu is in the Mandalorian season 3 because it is the new Mickey Mouse, and you're not going to get every great grandma and every great grandpa and this one and that one to tune in to watch the Mandalorian season 3 if the little green dude is gone forever. So I think they're going to bring him back strictly for marketing purposes and how they're going to tie that in. But I don't see that Luke coming early. I think that they're going to leave that Luke till the Mandalorian season 3. What say you?
Yeah, I do think the same. I can see Boba Fett coming way before that.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps December, which is what I've been kind of predicting.
Well, no, he's talking about the one on the throne.
Oh, he's talking about the one with the throne.
He said could it come out in quarter 2. So I think he's thinking April, June. Could it come out April, June?
Book of Boba Fett is coming December.
Mhm.
That one I can see coming earlier too. Maybe like January, February. Depending on how the show does it for the first like few episodes, and I mean I can see that it's gonna be a success. I mean it's Boba Fett, right? You can't go wrong with Boba Fett. But let's see how many other characters are shown in the show. That also is gonna play a big thing, because they wanna anything that was already announced and is scheduled to be out sometime next year, sometimes this year, whatever. They need to push those, the sooner the better, so they can have more space for other figures, to announce. You don't want to have two Boba Fett's like, with a back to back kind of, right? You may want to space it out a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well-
I think that one might be probably sooner. I don't think it's gonna meet the date. That date, I think it's gonna be way sooner than that.
Well, let me stay with you real quick here. We're going to go to another one. 117 in here. So listen, baby. Look, I'm pouring the coffee. All these guys are helping. So do us a favor and hit that like button. Much, much appreciated. Let's go. Let's smash it. Let's get to 100 likes. And Dante, we're going to stay with you. We're going to move up the line. I got a sneaking suspicion about this one because they're coming out with figures, Venomized figures. They're coming out with Venom. They're coming out with figures where they're not producing a whole lot. And there was just recently a figure that was released that kind of blew everybody away. And wait till you see the market show this week, because it is starting to rise even quicker than I thought right now. They've got everything they need, and all they got to do is throw some black robes on this and a little eye paint like Darkside Anakin, and voila, you got something you can put 3,000 up on. Black Series has done this too. Many other lines have done this.
Ooh.
Is this possible? Not with this head sculpt, but with the one that they just came out. I really think that this is a way that they could come out. Look, I'm going to say this before anyone puts it in the chat. Howard said he was done with the sequels. Yeah, that was before COVID. And now I'm telling you that Howard's probably changed his tune and he said, I'm done with COVID. Because the world has changed because of COVID. So if they're going to come out with figures that are just 2, 3, 4,000, is it possible, since they already have this, that this is a quick buck? It's some kind of con exclusive. What say you?
All I can say, and maybe people are gonna hate me as well, if they did Yelena, why not this one?
I love
Right?
it.
Right? No, just to kind of like help my friend Will here with the hate too.
Preaching to the choir, Dante.
Because think about it, right? I mean, yes, despite the people that they like or dislike the sequels, and it's a valid point, right? That particular moment, that particular scene was kind of cool. It was like, oh shoot, and see what happened with Rey. How it was given to us as the prototype, and then the final product with the improvement with the head sculpt and everything. Yeah, I think that will be a good, quick, easy release. Maybe like a exclusive type of thing, right? That comes within weeks or something like that. I can see that happening.
Yeah. Will, is it possible?
Yeah, I think so. The only hiccup I think in the situation is I think people would want the teeth. That's, I think, the downside there. So you might have to make a new sculpt because she has those teeth in at least the one shot, right? And I think people would that would really pop on a shelf. So that would be, you could still kind of use the sculpt, but then you'd have to rework it just with the teeth and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't think it would be a difficult release. I mean, I actually think that Rey, she wouldn't be sold like, a Han Solo or a Luke, but I think she would be pretty decent. Like if you made her like a con exclusive or something, I think people, even who don't like the sequels, would probably pick that up. I think she would have a lot of shelf presence with a double bladed saber. She would have, especially if you have the like maybe an interchangeable sculpt or just the teeth. Like I think she would pop. And I love Rey, so not everyone does, but like I really like Rey as a character. So for me, I would totally get that. I think it's realistic. I mean, I've seen a lot of people actually like saying they want this. So
yeah, I've seen a ton of chats on it, Will.
Right. I think it's realistic.
Yeah, that's why I think it's realistic. A lot of messages on it. And Kiko. Or go ahead, Dante, and then we'll go to Kiko.
Sorry to interrupt. One quick thing. Just imagine if they add a bit of throne behind her.
Yeah.
Like, that would be even sick. Or some backdrop or something. I think that would be a good call too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's about making money. And Kiko, can they make money off this?
I would say yes, simply because I hate the sequels. I don't like Rey, but I have the Episode 9 Rey on my shelf because it's a cool figure. And the things that she came with you couldn't, pass up. Whether it was the yellow lightsaber, which you've never seen before. I think I may have gotten her just because I wanted to play with that yellow lightsaber. It comes with, Leia's lightsaber, which, I gave to Leia, which I thought was cool. It's a great way to display things. So could they hook me with this one? And I think possibly, because I didn't expect myself, getting this Rey here, but that one's different enough to where if there's a shelf presence, and I'm all about shelf presence, that's my thing, is that if it's going to look cool and you can tell a good story with it, and there's money to be made by, Hot Toys, I think they could. I think it would just be a Toy Fair exclusive, like a legit exclusive to where they're not going to, mass produce it because they don't want to take the time for the mass production or anything like that. But I'm listening.
Yeah, Rodrigo. I mean, and every time I bring this up, so many people in the chat tell me that they would buy this. Is it possible this would move, that Hot Toys would just produce as many of this as the other Rey, which they saw sold out and is going up in value? I'm
going to go against the trend. I don't think that's going to come out at all. Dark Anakin, if you guys remember, was a Toy Fair exclusive. It was for sale a long time. People didn't want to buy it. Okay, it was on the time that Star Wars was down, but it was, available and people didn't buy it. And that also goes into their analytics, I think. To put up a Sith version of Rey as a toy exclusive, which we don't know what the contract says on the toys exclusives, right? So that's one of the reasons I don't know if the Dark Side Anakin is going to be reissued at all, unless it's in a 2-pack, like the only one that was reissued from Toy Fairs, which was Nightmare Batman.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's going to come out at all. I wish it did. I would totally buy it, but I don't think it's coming out.
Interesting perspectives. I can see it going either way. Let's go to Anthony and KG. Anthony, you go first.
I agree with Rod actually on this one, man. Like I'd say not in a million years is this thing coming out, but if it did, I think all of us would buy it. That you put it as a Toy Fair exclusive, done. Like Hiko's saying, man, that's shelf presence. She would look badass. You could put her with, any other Sith or just whatever, or by herself. I mean, and who knows what kind of accessories she'd come with too, right? That's a whole nother, that's what's fun about it. You can speculate it all day. And I think at the end of the day, it would be a smart choice because the general distaste of the prequels still brings in the people like us who would just buy this anyway simply because she's Sith,
Yeah, it's kind of like people. You're right, Anthony, and it's kind of like people, KG, that I felt like that bought the Solo Maul like I did. I just wanted Darth Maul. I mean, I thought the movie. I actually liked the Solo movie, and I liked that he appeared at the end. And I'm a big Maul fan, but I was gonna buy that Solo Maul no matter what because that thing was just hot, baby.
Collectors are all talk until they actually come up for order or they're actually available. We'll say we won't 100%. Get anything 100%. Until it actually is in the possibility for you to purchase it. You'll say, absolutely not. But then it shows up and you're like, I'll give it a try. We're all
until you get that invoice. It's a totally different ball game.
Yeah,
and all depends of the final, the pictures. Right. If they do really good pictures, you're gonna be like,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, as far as they're gonna make it, I don't know. I'm sort of agreeing with Anthony and Rod, but I'm also agreeing with Will and Aries. I just don't know because it's a very interesting part.
How can you agree with
hard to predict?
That was a politician answer.
He's straddling the fence, dude. He's straddling the fence. No, it's okay, Gage. I know what you mean.
No, but I mean, it's I'm 50-50 with it. I mean, if they were gonna do it, it would either be a Toy Fair exclusive. That's the way I could see it because then they can make a small run of it because they know that the sequels wasn't the most loved part of Star Wars, right? So I could see them making a small run of that. Toy Fair exclusive would be the right part. But it's cool because you can create a what if sort of scenario where what if Rey did join the dark side, he's with Palpatine, she's with Palpatine. So I think it would be cool for as far as if you're gonna display it with the Emperor, it's cool. But
can I just drop one quick question to the panel?
Yeah.
So let's say Howard Chan is listening to us and he's like, that's a good idea.
Hi, Howard.
So, right. So let's say they drop Dark Side Rey. Why not Palpatine?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. I could see Palpatine dropping, first
Oh,
than
he
Rey.
looked badass. In
And
that
give him some of
ending
those like
scene.
old wrinkled fingers. Like that would look really cool. It would look very scary, very horror.
Oh yeah, with some type of exclusive thing with the mechanical arm or something, right?
Yeah,
With
yeah,
the
yeah.
with the white eyes.
Yeah.
That would be
Dude,
sick.
yeah.
That would be
Well,
sick.
listen, KG. Look, you're on the fence with that one. You didn't know if you should go this way or if it's going to go that way. You don't know. But I think I'm going to show you one that you do know. The question really is, not to speak for you, but I do know that you know this, is when. And let me pull it up, baby.
Oh man.
Oh.
Mhm.
Every time I look at this, I just don't want to look at it. It's just like
You just get upset.
I get upset because I love Clone Wars as a kid. I love these designs. I prefer these designs more than I do in the Revenge of the Sith. It's my own taste. I mean, look, I was hoping for May the 4th of this year for it to be announced. I thought they were waiting for that. Or it just could be, I've been hearing rumors that they're not announcing this until like a Tour for exclusive, because I think they're just keeping this, they're hiding this for a bit until next Tour for exclusive. They could put this for up for pre-order. But yeah, I mean, this is one of those figures where I really want it, and I was going to pre-order that Anakin, but then after knowing what Hot Toys is known for, not finishing things, and I stopped. I was like, you know what? I just got to see if they announce this, and I'll pre-order it. I just don't want my money to be wasted, right? And yeah, this is a must-have. I just want them to make it.
They got to do it, KG. They got to do this.
They have to.
Yeah.
They have to. Yeah.
No, it blows my mind. He would outsell Rex. No, he would outsell Rex.
Well, look at how high he is in the secondary market right now.
It's a tough one. Yeah, they're both great. Yeah.
They're both great. Yeah.
Anthony, is this coming this year?
No.
Is it coming next year?
Maybe. Well, you know what? It's weird, right? So now I'm gonna flip flop here on this one because maybe it'll come this year.
Politician Anthony.
Well, because I was thinking, right? Because if the Obi-Wan show comes out, they're gonna release an Obi-Wan figure. They're not gonna release this figure though. So it could make sense for it to come out first. Double dip. That way we don't have two Obi-Wans out at once. Or, they could wait, put out an Obi-Wan figure from the show, and then later on eventually drop this just for, the nostalgia purpose. But I don't know, man. We don't know what the hell we're talking about. I mean, like he'll either be here or he won't. But I don't think he's coming this year.
Rodrigo, he brings up a good point. You do got the Obi-Wan series that's coming out. I would think that they want to announce this quick, but the Clone Wars is hot, baby, and you need to complete the Clone Wars collection with this figure. But you know what? They got two Ahsokas in the market. They got a Clone Wars one. They got the other one. I don't know. It's interesting. What say you?
Again, I'm going to be the unpopular opinion. I think if that doesn't come out before the Obi-Wan show, it will not come out next year. Because I think it should come out now before December. Because, like you said, why wouldn't it? It's just mind-boggling sometimes what the business that Hot Toys does. It's just crazy. But the thing is, I don't think they want to deviate when they start the movie, the series. They probably try to focus in the series instead of just getting a character that's in the series in a different situation. That make no sense. But again,
what? Sorry to interrupt you, Rob. But here's the thing: he could appear. That outfit could appear in the Obi-Wan series.
Then yes.
Maybe that's why they're holding off, because I'm thinking like, why, like they could have announced this with Anakin. I'm just like thinking maybe they know something that we don't know, right?
Then
in the Obi-Wan series, because if there's going to be flashbacks, right? Could come up in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, but the chances usually when you start a series would be to start with the main character in the situation that he starts, right?
Yeah.
So they wouldn't launch like a remembrance before they launch the current one. So if it shows, then yes, I can actually see it showing up next year.
Because that will make sense. I think maybe because because the Obi-Wan show is pretty imminent, right? And I could see that happening because I've heard there's going to be a ton of flashbacks. So,
but it could be that the flashbacks for Clone Wars doesn't happen in season 1. We don't know.
Well, I'm just saying we just don't know what's going to happen, right? So it's
exactly.
Interesting.
But we always that it comes out.
Kiko, thoughts on this? You heard a lot of thoughts so far. Obi-Wan, Clone Wars.
To be honest, I think it's a troll job. You look at it, and I think it looks like a kit bash to me. It really does. It's literally the exact same, Revenge of the Sith head. It's got like some Obi-Wan robes, a Commander Cody arm, and just some little pieces. I think that they said, hey, let's put this out there for Sideshow Con, and let's see what people say. I think it's to gauge interest. And kind of going along with, yes, I know the Anakin was released, but that comes with a staff. It comes with a completely different, different haircut. There's nothing different to this. So unless they change something up, I think it was just a kit bash to put on the shelf. I think this is from the Sideshow Coming Soon graveyard.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow. We're going to go to... No, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. I mean, it's funny. Like, I did think that originally with the figure. Like, I saw at one point, I was like, it did kind of look like Kid Bash. I might have even said that at one point. But the more I looked at it, the more I kind of started to like it. So, I don't know. I mean, if they're going to release the Anakin, which they already got up for pre-order, I don't see why they wouldn't release Obi-Wan. But in my opinion, they have to fix that head sculpt, because the original proto of the Revenge of the Sith head sculpt was perfection. That thing was beautiful.
I don't know why they changed it.
But I think it was just a final product type thing. Like, when it gets into production, sometimes it just alters. Or maybe it could have been feedback from someone they saying he looked too old. Maybe like they wanted him to look younger. That could have been it. But who knows? But I had that Revenge of the Sith figure at one point. I liked it, but I sold it because I wasn't in love with it. I was like, I'm going to wait for the next Obi-Wan, hope for a better one, because the sculpt is good, but something about the beard and the lip, it didn't quite look like the proto, right? So,
yeah.
And I think with this one, if you're going to release this figure, I'd say give us an updated sculpt, because it can be improved. What we saw from that proto originally, and what we know hottoys can do, especially now, a couple years later after that Revenge of the Sith figure has actually been out there and up for pre-order and all that. I think it will come out. I just think it's a matter of it is very simple. Like you guys were saying, like all they basically did was throw some robes on and put the old head sculpt on it. But I think there is interest for it. I think so. If their goal was to gauge interest, I think they have a pretty good idea. I would think that I think they would want it. But the fact is, now we have an Obi-Wan show coming out, and there's going to be at least one figure from that one. And that one's probably going to be the one more so people want. So I guess they don't want to compete with each other with those two figures. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
Give him the episode 2 mullet and fix the head sculpt a little bit. Then I'm all in.
That's not a bad idea.
Give him the mullet. He needs the mullet.
He needs the mullet. Give us the mullet. Give us the Joe Dirt Obi-Wan. We need it.
Well, and Dante, I'm going to go to you, because you seem to have a beat on some of you talked about this before at the head sculpt on that, and then some of the things that's going on with Hot Toys with head sculpts. But with 128 in here, please smash that like button. Before we go to you on this, Dante, I want to thank you, James Cosgrove, for the $5 super chat. And I think you meant to ask this. I'm not going to leave it on for long because it'll block the maestro's face, but I love the show. If we get Darkside Rey, is it possible we could get the Hot Toys, The Rise of Skywalker Ben Solo? And also, is it possible we will ever see Hot Toys Shock T or any other Jedi Council? So I will answer that. I'm going to take that off after Dante speaks to this here. So we'll get to that, James, in just a second. But Dante, is that what's going on with this figure? Is Will onto something? Are they holding it back because that they're fixing the head sculpt, or is it like what Kiko's saying? Is it just, it was just kind of like a troll or a tease, or is it both?
It could be both, to be honest with you. But but the just to step back a second, the Anakin from the Clone Wars, I was told that it's going to be coming sooner, and I'm thinking it's probably going to be December. So I have a feeling that they're going to announce that Obi-Wan around that time, just because they just want to get rid of this. They just need to finish this and then start focusing on the Obi-Wan series. Because, again, it's going to be an older version in the Obi-Wan series. It's probably going to be the same one, but with more wrinkles or more like a white, hair and beard on the hair. But this one is a very easy release, to be honest with you, because if they don't gonna change anything, they're just gonna probably figure out what accessories they're gonna add to it. It shouldn't take that long to release. So it's probably, announced sometime in December to be released sometime next year, something like that, and maybe sooner, because they just want to get rid of the figure, or it could be as well a possibility to be a Toy Fair exclusive, something that can be released within a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Because again, same head sculpt, same ropes, that could be another thing, right?
That's my feeling with this. With 135 in here, hit the like button. I mean, guys, I think Dante just hit on something. I almost feel like that they're maybe holding this to have it as be a con exclusive and immediately come out with it.
Yeah, maybe like armor, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, is it possible?
Yeah, that's a really good point. Actually, I didn't think of that. That's totally possible.
Especially with all the Clone Wars buzz. I mean, how many people are, oh yeah, I got the 501st, I got Rex, I got Ahsoka, I got Clone Wars Maul, I got the Coruscant Guard, I got Anakin. Let me just skip on Obi-Wan. I mean, I don't see it that much.
Well, it's assuming that they have everything, right? Assuming that, you know, the headscope doesn't change and they just, because I don't know if you saw that I was kind of turning. I was looking at my Obi-Wan to see the outfit, and it's pretty much the same. You know, a few pieces here and there. So I don't think that's kind of hard to make. So it could possibly, they can actually do that. You know, just to kind of like, hey, this is the exclusive. 3 weeks later, you have your package. You know, have fun with it.
Yeah, but I think Kiko's right though on that real quick. That it does look like a kit bash, you know. So they need to change it up somehow. They can't just release it like that. You know what I mean?
No one's going to pay $275. It's probably going to be a $300 figure, and if it looks like
I
that,
would
you? I personally, they need to do.
I wouldn't
have something come along with that because it's a little bare bones as of right now.
They can include Grogu. I'm just kidding.
Grogu. That reminds Grogu. Can we get that?
No, but they can add another accessory, right? They can add something. I mean, I haven't seen the Clone Wars, so I don't know, you know, what else he had in the show. But maybe they can just add an extra accessory. Maybe they can add an extra hellscope with a screaming face. I don't know. You know,
that's a good point. I think people would buy it. I wouldn't, but I think people would. And
that's what I'm saying. I wish they did what you guys are saying, but if they didn't, I would still buy it. So
yeah, I think a lot of people would.
Well, let me go to
they know that.
Let me go to Will first with this one, and I'm going to give credit. Now, this is going to be now we're going to go to some figures out of left field. Okay, we'll still get into some of these other ones, but one's out of left field. Remember, Lando came out of left field last year.
Yeah,
and I'll actually give credit to this one to another good friend of the channel, Denobi2, who brought this up before I wasn't even thinking it was possible. But when he brought this up, I said, you know what? This is possible, and I think more for the 50th anniversary, but knowing Hot Toys, who knows? When you put this up on the screen and see, is it possible out of left field?
Oh, Aries, that's a great question. It really is. I think it would drop a bombshell on the internet. I mean, I think it really would. Sure. I think no one's expecting it. So if they did, I think depending on what the price would be for a figure this big, I think a lot of people would be very interested in this, especially a Hot Toys version. Like the Sideshow version's been out a long time, right? That one's been out for a while, and a lot of people have had that one and enjoyed it. But this one, I mean, it would be a power pose, obviously, but at the same time, like it would be one of those figures I think that would really be amazing. That's a great question, Aries. I never even thought that this would be a thing, but still, the fact that we're getting this before C-3PO still is crazy. But yeah, I could totally see it. I mean, maybe it's a 50th anniversary thing, but Jabba the Hutt is a very popular character.
Oh, as an OT fan, this would be an automatic for me.
I think there's an automatic, even for me. Like, dude, I love the original trilogy, but this would be one I would definitely be very interested in. I think Jabba's, and if you have a Star Wars display, I think he's pretty much essential.
Oh, he's essential for Return of the. I mean,
yeah. I would say it's possible.
Dante.
I was looking at the picture trying to dissect that. Man, that would be sick if that happens. And I agree with Will. This is going to be a power pose. I mean, there's no way this is going to be like articulated. Like, I mean, you can probably the hands or something like that. But like, other than that, maybe move the head a little bit. But I mean, it will be sick. I was actually looking at Kiko's Jabba behind him. So that's the piece I want so bad to get. Is that one and the Hulkbuster. I've been saying this forever, but because I don't have a space, but I'm gonna get my Mojo cases. Maybe I can squeeze one of those Jawas. So I don't know, man. But yeah, I mean, if Atos comes with that one, that would be great. But I have a feeling that they will probably come out with Grievous before coming with Jabba.
Oh, I love Grievous, baby. But I'll take them both
because this will be their time to do it, especially what happened with Sideshow Disaster.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And sorry to interrupt, but take into account that Jabba's sideshow one actually it's a great figure. It's good, and the Grievous actually had all the complaints in the world. I mean, if you had to redo any of those, I would do the Grievous first of all. Because why would you compete with people? Because people that actually have space and wanted Jabba like enough, like Kiko and me, we have it. People that didn't get it, they didn't get it because the price was too big. It was just too big for where they actually show their collections, and that doesn't change. If it Hot Toys is going to be more expensive, and the size will be the same. So
And I just want to speak to, like you said, you have this thing, you can't really tell. This thing is huge. And the throne alone, when I was, because I went and grabbed it from my comic book shop, got a good deal on that. And loading that into my car, the back of my car, I was like, this thing is monstrous. And then when you unbox it, I mean, it's huge. It is absolutely kind of like what you mentioned with the Hulkbuster. It is absolutely a room stealing piece. And I don't know if there's much more you could do to improve on this. Like you said, it could be a power pose. He's kind of hard, if you want to call it that. He's not squishy or anything like that. If you'd wanted to do anything, you could maybe fix the eyes, because you can kind of see seams in the eyes, because you can replace the eyes and give different like expressions if you sleep in or whatever like that. Fix the eyes, and if they wanted to do like the Grogu animated mouth that goes up and down, because right now you can switch the mouths out, but there's still a seam. That's the only thing I would say to. There he is. That's the only thing I'd say to really fix that. But I think a price point would be a huge issue for a lot of people, and price and space for something like that. But as a Star Wars fan, yeah, he is a must almost in the display. But if you get a chance to get the sideshow one, I mean, he comes with Salacious Crumb there. I mean, it's pretty dang good.
Anthony, 50th anniversary, it'd be pricey. Jabba the Hutt, though, he's a villain.
Yeah, I think it would be. It would definitely be pricey. I just don't see Hot Toys making it though. I don't. I mean, just because they don't really make large things other than like the Hulkbuster and he's like Jabba, right? So it's not like an Iron Man, where he can kind of be moved around. I mean, Jabba's not moving, so it'd be kind of a weird choice. And I don't know if. And another thing too is like they don't really need to make it. Not to take away from Sideshow, right? Because he's a great figure. He's a great piece. So they don't really need to compete with it though. Like it'd be more interesting if they made like the Gamorrean guards or something that could like complement the Sideshow piece, because they do kind of work together. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it would be a wise investment to make a Jabba unless they really engineered this thing great. Like he was saying, like we had a little mouthpiece and they can, work on how the eyes work. And I just. Like, we'd have to see it. We'd have to see it. That's the thing. If they popped it out and showed it, then of course people were going to buy it.
Before you go to KG, and then we're going to stay with KG because KG is going to like the next one. Let me read this from JC with the $20 bomb, baby. Great host. Coffee at Aries is equal to America and apple pie. Well, look, let me pour you some coffee here, my friend, or maybe you'd like some Spotchka because we're into some left field announcements. KG, real quick on Jabba the Hutt. Are they ever going to do it?
I agree with Anthony. I don't see it. I really don't. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, I mean, Sideshow has done it, and that's perfect. I think it's one of the best pieces they have done so far. If we don't, with Grievous and everything. But yeah, I mean, I could see Hot Toys doing a Grievous than a Jabba. I just don't see the hype for it necessarily for Hot Toys to go and make a new body and just new molds and spend that kind of money for it. I just don't see a lot of people talking about it, so it's more of it's not. I think Sideshow, what they have right now currently, it's great. It's expensive, but it's 1/6 scale. So
all right, well let me ask you, stay with you, another one out of left field, although not really left field, but it kind of be left field because I think, well, let me just put it up on the screen. And JC, thank you so much for that, my friend. Much, much appreciated. But is it possible out of left field?
Yo. Yeah. I'm being honest with you. Like it's. I mean, they made the 501st clones, and I think I've mentioned this to you before in the channel that I think Hot Toys were really before Mandalorian, before everything, and when the sequels were going, they were scared to release anything Star Wars because they knew that Star Wars wasn't a big thing around that time. But now with the Mandalorian, with the Clone Wars, and with Clone Wars doing well with their numbers with the 501st clones, I could see them making it. Like I said, it's like a Boba Fett. It's just reusing the mold. They can reuse the mold in this new paint job. They can even make it a toy for exclusive. They could.
Yeah, and this is the one darn Jedi, at least when they were going to Order 66, where, you're seeing all the Jedi, die. You're like, oh, they're not going to do that to Yoda. Well, obviously they can't do that to Yoda because he's alive in Empire Strikes Back. But it was like, oh, man, I'd love to put this with the Attack of the Clones Yoda. I mean, Kiko, right. They've got the Clone Trooper designs. You're getting Incinerator Troopers and Stormtrooper Commanders and Remnant Troopers and I don't know, Lollipop Troopers and all these troopers. What about clones like this?
I mean, if you're getting the mustard troopers from The Mandalorian, I mean, I think it's certainly possible that any clone with a slight bit of modification is definitely on the table. I think you need to look at popularity, and I'm sure there's somebody that has the analytics that know which clones were the big money makers that sold great, on the sideshow side of things, because they're the ones who did them. Gree is got that unique look because he's camo. I think he's a shelf presence once again. But I think before you would do Gree, I think Wolf would probably be, and I don't know if that's one you're getting ready to bring up or not, but I feel like Wolf and Wolfpack would be somebody that would be more desired than Gree, simply because, he tried to take out Yoda and Chewie and all that. So I don't know if that's if that rubs people the wrong way or not. But I mean, look at that right there. I mean, that's just a beautiful thing.
Look, you brought these guys up. You just brought up Wolf. You brought up Rex. There's Gregor. Let's continue with this, guys. Look, Tamora Morrison. Let's go to Dante. Dante, you were talking about they're going to focus on head sculpts. I mean, they're going to focus on helmets.
You gotta say, Tamora Morrison's making a killing on his head sculpt.
Yeah,
is he not?
I know, right? He is so happy right now.
And Dante, they seem to be in a good spot with the Tamora Morrison head sculpt. So I think that's why you were, talking about the Django possibly coming out early. I feel like that they could pump a ton of these out, helmet and like these. What say you?
Yeah, and going back to Gree, I think if they're gonna do some of those characters, Clone Wars, not as popular as Rex or Cody, you name it. Maybe they can start doing some 2-packs too. They may just put the two together, so people will be like, "Oh, shoot, 2 for 1." I mean, not 2 for 1, but you know what I'm saying. Like, So I think because we're gonna start seeing a lot of 2-packs coming too. So especially for those characters that are not as popular, maybe.
So we can get like Wolf and Azaz Ventress because she took out his eye, that type of thing. That'd be a great 2-pack.
They can just pretty much do whatever they want. And going back to Tamora Morrison's head sculpt, I mean, yeah, I agree. It's killing it. I mean, it's just every release that is coming out is just perfect. Like you see, the first one I think was Cody, right? Then we got the announcement of Boba Fett, the 2-pack, the deluxe version, which is perfect, and then Rex. So they can like getting better and better on those.
What's fascinating to me is to see the different iterations of the head sculpt, because going all the way back to the Echo one, how it's a little bit different. The Cody one's a little bit different. Rex is a little bit different. Boba's obviously. I just love being able to. Each one has got a nuance about it, which I think shows because we've never seen what they actually look like, in realistic portrayals. So being able to see the realism put from a cartoon into that with an actual person, the actor doing it, for me, I think that's just so cool to see.
Yep.
Will, clones. To my opinion, look, I'll say this. Until we prove to Hot Toys that we're not going to buy clones and they're not going to be where, I'm telling you right now, they're looking at how those 501st are selling. They're looking at how Rex is selling. They're looking at Cody in the secondary market. I think until we stop buying them, they're going to pump these out.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think just troopers in general, honestly. I mean, I think, there's a ton of army builders and trooper lovers out there who will buy almost every trooper, or at least the vast majority of them. So whether it's a clone, whether it's a trooper in general. Rodrigo, you don't agree? Yeah, because...
As he's got like 30 right behind him.
I know, right? Like, I know, but yeah, I really don't know much about Gree as a character. Is he from Bad Batch or what exactly? Because I don't really
He's
know much about
from the Revenge of the Sith and the trooper that was going to, after Order 66, slay Yoda, but was not successful.
Gotcha. So it's kind of a very niche type thing, right? It's a niche type character. So for me, yeah, I mean, if it's a popular, if it's a trooper and people are going to go for those clones and those troopers, then yeah, I mean, I could see it getting made. But at the same time, like, I don't think people even really care about who the character is anymore, the identity. They really just care about the look of the trooper. And if it's green like that and it pops, then yeah, it'll sell. That's all people really care about. I mean, there's mustard troopers, like you guys talk about. There's like lollipop troopers. There's literally everything, right? I mean, there's any trooper color you can name has been done under the sun. So I mean, it really has.
I want this lollipop trooper.
Yeah, where's the lollipop? Do we need that? Like, honestly,
what is that porcelain? Is that the porcelain thing with the? It looks like
yeah.
my grandmother's wallpaper.
Honestly, to me, the king, since we're on topic of troopers, the king will always be the Death Trooper. He will never be dethroned. The Death Trooper is always going to be the GOAT to me.
It's a good trooper.
Short Trooper's great too. Short Trooper's probably second. Yeah.
Death Trooper specialist.
We're going to go to you,
Death Trooper specialist. Yeah.
Because this is going to be very, very happy for Rodrigo.
Yeah.
Look, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't got you right on this, but let's see. Is it possible? Because I think that now is the time to capitalize for Hot Toys from a business perspective, because a certain company messed up.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. I talked about this just a little bit in another stream. I wish they did, because I've got the original Sideshow one. I did not get. I didn't fall in their trap on the second time. So I still have the first one. But I don't believe Hot Toys is going to do that for a couple of reasons. Like you said, business reasons. It's quite a big piece of engineering. So it's not a regular figure that they can just build up. It's just from scratch. First of all, the second issue is that why would you touch that at this moment, at least for a year? Because the fact is, everybody knows that Hot Toys is not Sideshow. So unless you had 100% sure that you're going to come out with something that nobody's going to complain about, you do not want to be associated with this, shit show that happened with this. So you do not want to touch it as a company.
Well, let me ask you this, Rodrigo.
Yeah.
What if they're thinking like you're thinking, and this is a monster engineering wise? I'm sure the R&D would be crazy on this. What about one of these figures, because they've done this, where it's like, we'll get it out in 2.5, 3 years, and just a little tease, like a little banner. They haven't done that in a while. To keep it in the back of your head.
Yeah, that's possible. But like I said, the thing is, at this moment, if I was the company, I would not want to be associated with this situation that happened at all. I'd rather kind of forget a little bit and then put like a banner, like maybe next year, put a banner on it, and then just launch in like 2023 after well done research. Because like I said, they don't need to touch this. So they are at the moment completely separated from this big problem that was from start to finish on the first and on the second time they launched it. So as a business model, I wouldn't touch it at this moment.
Interesting perspective, and very, very good points. Kiko.
I wonder if they're kind of what he was talking about from a business perspective. I wonder if there's a gentleman's agreement because of the issue that Hot Toys and Sideshow, their North American distributor, have with each other. I know it's probably been talked about ad nauseum. The fact that there is some type of agreement. They're obviously working out to getting figures here sooner. And obviously there's a little bit of black eye with the way Sideshow handled, Hong Kong resellers, different things like that. So I wonder if there is a gentleman's agreement to where, we'll attack these figures. That's the reason that Sideshow did the animated versions of the Clone Wars as opposed to Hot Toys doing the realistic sides to it. I'm sure there's some backdoor politics that go along with that. And I wonder if there's something to that, to why they won't touch this figure.
Dante, is that possible?
It is possible. I guess I don't know who said it, but I don't know, was the Novi, someone said it, that the reason why Sideshow did Grievous or reissue Grievous in the first place is to prevent from Hot Toys from doing it. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but based on what happened with this particular figure, which I wanted to give the benefit of the doubt, um, I end up returning it because for me, just getting two joints to replace, and for two arms, for the single arms, not even for the dual arms, it was a joke. It was
Yeah.
like a kind of like, shut up, get $10, and I'm like, no, I don't want the $10. You can take it back if you want. I think that was a fail, huge fail, especially what they said that they promised us everything fixed, and it wasn't. Right, poor guy who was doing the unseal reveal, he was struggling with the figure, and I
Yeah, I
have to
remember that,
give
watching it a few
huge
times.
credit to that guy, because honestly, if I would have been me, I would have probably break it live. Like, oh shoot, you know. So it was a bad move, right? And I think this will be a perfect chance, or the perfect opportunity for Hot Toys to show Sideshow how it is done. Probably diecast, probably it's gonna be very pricey, but at this point, I don't care. I want
Yeah.
a good quality figure that can hold itself. You can actually put it and do some poses like a normal figure without struggling or without fear you're gonna break it. So I
Yeah.
think it is a possibility that we're gonna see this one from Hot Toys.
KG, from what Dante said there, it's a good opportunity for them to stomp on Sideshow with their mistakes. What Kiko said is good. Maybe there's a gentleman's agreement, and they're not going to walk over each other on this. A lot of different perspectives on this. Uh, Rodrigo brings up a good point that it's going to be really hard engineering. They don't need to do this right now. They don't got to put themselves in the middle of this. But this would be a great Clone Wars figure. This would be a great prequels figure. What say you?
Yeah, I feel like it's been like 4 or 5 months. This whole Greaves topic has been. I mean, it's crazy right now. And yeah, I mean, a lot of us really want Hot Toys to do it just because we know that Hot Toys is capable of making great things. Sturdy joints. And with Sideshows, it was disappointing. That they reissued it, and they even came out and said, "Oh, we got better joints. Better paint apps," and all those were completely false. It was just basically a
Cape.
repackage.
The cape. They changed the cape.
Right.
Oh wow,
Yep.
okay. Oh, it's just like, yeah. I mean, it's just I believe that Hot Toys will do it one day. I just don't see them doing it now. Maybe an anniversary of Revenge of the Sith or Attack of the Clones. Maybe that's my guess. But
That would be a good one for an anniversary. That would be
It would be.
really good. Yeah.
It would be. I think it would drive a lot of fans to go get it because they know that Hot Toys and their quality is amazing. So yeah, why not? I mean, if Hot Toys thinks that they can do it, they can do it. I mean, and also diecast. I want it to be diecast. I just don't want that plastic sort of feeling into it. It's going to be an expensive figure just because it's a new mold. Pricing is going to get expensive, and I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Can I say something real quick? Sorry, Aries. Just to add of a little bit more of what I was saying before. I also agree with what Kiko said about gentlemen's and just wait whatever. But I also think that since Hot Toys is the main baby for Sideshow, I mean, numbers don't lie, right? They will not say, "Hey, don't do it," because they're gonna make money anyway. Sideshow is gonna make money off Hot Toys anyway if they do that figure. So, yes, I think maybe the timing will not be like right now because obviously it will be really kind of like effed up doing it. But I can see that happening very after this, right? And they're gonna, because it has to be. Sideshow just lost so much credibility. They do really good horror figures though, because I have those figures, and yes,
That's
it's not
a figure.
perfect 100%.
That's
But-
a horror figure, Dante.
Mhm.
That's a horror figure.
That's a horror figure, yeah, with the Star Wars label. No, what I'm saying is like the Jason or the Freddy's or those, the Ghostface, are actually pretty good. But I guess this was not their forte, I guess.
Well, Anthony, before we get to you, let's go to Will. Will, General Grievous, very interesting discussion here on this. What is your take?
Yeah, this has been one of the most, I think, debated and discussed figures of all time when it comes to Hot Toys, right? It really is. Like, will they make one? Will they not? For the longest time, I've kind of maintained the position that I don't think they will, because I feel like it's just one of those figures that they would have done already. But at the same time, the fact that they're seeing Sideshow completely F this up and like drop the ball entirely on this figure, maybe they're like, oh, there's a very strong demand, like Kiko has mentioned the analytics side of it. There's a very strong demand for this Grievous figure, and obviously there's a void to fill because no one's doing it well. But at the same time, like, you have to think also what the price would be for this figure. Like, I think a lot of people want it, but if he's die cast, like KG is mentioning, this is probably this is like a Carnage price figure. I mean, this is probably with the joints you have going on, 4 lightsabers, you have die cast parts to make the joints sturdy. To make this figure right, this is probably like a $450 at least figure. $450 to $500. And just a lot of collectors, I would still pay that for Grievous. I still would. But just how many people would? Like, it's a $500, it's a lot, it's a big pill to swallow. Right? I think all of us here would. But I'm just wondering about the casual collector who's like, I could get 2 figures for the price of Grievous, basically. So I don't know. It's tough. That's what I think Hot Toys is looking at. Maybe they're still deciding that. But I mean, this would be a bomb ass figure, no doubt about it. Like, I want a Grievous very badly. But I had Sideshow on pre-order at one point and I canceled it just because I saw everything that was happening. And I was like, no, thank you. I want to stay as far away from that one as possible. Social distance from that one. But yeah, I very much, I think they could make it. I've kind of maybe changed my tune slightly. At first I was like, no way, they're not going to make it. Now I can kind of see a possibility of it. But if I had to choose still, I'd say they're still not going to make it, in my opinion.
You know, very interesting thoughts here. And I agree with what everyone has said so far. Anthony, let me go to you here. Last one on this. I feel like this could possibly also be a marketing thing for Hot Toys, because I feel like if they came out with this and there was die-cast parts, it could break the internet, depending on how it was presented. It would certainly be on a lot of channels, and it would be a huge discussion.
Yeah, I think it would, but I don't think they're not going to do it anytime soon, right? I think like what Rod was saying, the same thing. They just distance themselves from this whole mess right now anyway. Because here's the thing. And I think Rod and I talked about this on our channel, that Hot Toys doesn't need to do anything. Like, this isn't their screw up. So if anything, it's going to make people upset with Sideshow and just come over to their side of the pond and just buy more Hot Toys anyway. So they're still going to make money off of this either way, right? Now, whether or not, what Kiko was saying is if it was like a gentleman's, thing, or with Dante, if it's actually like, hey, you know what, maybe it's not. And if we just put it out so Hot Toys can't do it, right? Like those Fantastic Four movies, that was part of a contract. They just had to keep cranking crap out or they'd lose the license. So, we don't know. It could be a good or a bad thing, but eventually, yes. I think it will come out when all this fiasco stuff's died down, maybe an anniversary thing. You bet your ass it's going to be like $575, but people will pay for it for sure, 100%.
Left field last year. Well, we got some things out of left field, out of nowhere, and I know some of your guys' thoughts on this one. I'm going to put up on the screen, and you can't have one of my shows where we're talking about predictions where we can't put this up. Ooh. Look, there's so much. I don't even want to say rumors anymore. Sam Jackson's back with Disney for Star Wars. This character is going to come back. Filoni and Favreau bringing this character back. Are we going to see a purple lightsaber announcement? Are we going to see a purple lightsaber tease before the end of this year, guys? Who wants to go first? Come on.
Neither. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was going to say is that I think in the final production photos of Django is where you will see this teased.
Wow.
That would be incredible if they're able to do that, or if they're able to coordinate that with the photographers, Kiko. I mean, that was something that I brought up before. I think typically they use photographers where they, it's not, they're kind of freelance, but you kind of see like what Sideshow's doing with these unboxings now, with releases before they're even out. Is it possible they're going to start doing that with their photography, which all those photographers do well, but I feel like sometimes they don't capture the lighting well, and the videos, the for whatever reason, the reviews just show the figures even better. Like with Orlando, I felt that was the case. Even with the Rey, I felt that was the case. Will, is that a possibility? Could they be like, hey, you know what? We're going to do something special here. We're going to try something new coming out of COVID. We're going to take our own pictures of this, or make sure we sneak Mace in there. It's great buzz.
Yeah, Kiko raised a really interesting theory there. That's actually has me thinking a little bit. But if you're asking Aries like whether I think this is going to be announced by the end of the year, I don't think so. I think this is a figure that a lot of people will want and a lot of people would buy, but it's one of the ones actually on my list of most WTF, why does this figure not exist yet? You know what I mean? I think that's along with C-3PO, you know, with some others. I think this is one of those figures I just cannot believe doesn't exist already.
Yeah,
so,
me too.
But at the same time, like if it hasn't existed for this long, why would they do it by the end of the year when they got so much other stuff? Like Hot Toys has more than their hands full. I mean, how many Spider-Men are they going to be making in the next couple months? I mean, it's like they
had the head sculpt with Nick Fury already.
Yeah, exactly. And they still didn't do it. And all it is, you could literally take Jedi robes from any other figure, put them on this one, pop that head sculpt on there, and you're done. Mm-hmm. It's so easy. Probably they'll probably have to make a new head sculpt, but you're right, Kiko. It's a fair point. But I would say, yeah, I think this will come eventually. I do think it will happen at some point. Maybe we always talk about these anniversary figures. We've thrown that term out there a lot tonight. That could be one I'd see, but I don't think this comes out. But then Book of Boba and so much other stuff dropping, it's like I think Hot Toys is more than busy right now, and you know we don't even have a Best Han yet. So I mean,
boy,
get
the coffee out.
That's a jab. That's a nice.
Best Han.
I know, but yeah, I think it's coming eventually, just not this year. Maybe next year.
Yeah, Dante, Mace.
So before I talk about Mace, Django is supposed to be released late this year, because according to Sideshow, it's shipping January, March next year. And if we go by what has been happening so far with the figures that were supposed to be released in April and came out in October, you know, if Django comes out, I can actually see a small room for an announcement of Mace Windu. You know, that would be perfect timing, you know, releasing the figure and then within the same week announcing Mace Windu. And it's going to boost the sales. People are going to go nuts. They're going to have that display. You know, come on. You know, that will be a perfect way of releasing a figure and introducing another one.
Yeah. Rodrigo, Mace Windu. Yeah. Is it out of left field?
Yeah, I think it is. Like several people said here, I don't know why this doesn't happen. Haven't happened yet. I don't know. Maybe I'm completely out of whack, but I think there could be other issues than simply they not wanting to do it. So it could be an issue in contract. It could be an issue with the actor. I don't know. It could be because there's no reason for that to have been coming out before. I don't think that's coming out until the end of the year. If it comes out, it will come out during the new series with Obi-Wan when it shows him again. I think.
Could they be like we talked about it earlier in the show, like the Kit Fisto, some of these figures that they were just coming out of the black clouds of all the controversy with the sequels, and now you're going to start seeing, as long as Star Wars stays hot and fans continue to like it, that they're going to start coming out with these. But Kiko, Mace Windu, I don't know. I got a strong feeling about this one.
Hey, the force is strong with you. Yeah, exactly. So Kiko and I get it.
The force is strong with you.
Yeah. Anyone like KG? Did you talk on Mace? Tell me about what your opinion is.
I'm just pissed that they haven't announced him yet.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think that the Django Fett, I don't think he's gonna come this year. I think he's gonna come next year. I'm talking about like Heavy Mando, where he was released on January 1st or January 2nd. That's what I think. I just don't see him coming this year. I don't know. After thinking about it, hearing people's thoughts and opinions, I think he's gonna be more of a release for January 1st of 2022. So that's what I think. And once they do that, it could be possible that we get a little tease of Mace Windu after that, or before that. Who knows?
Well, if we just get a tease, baby, I would be. Look, all right. It's hard for me to call Hot Toys a complete Star Wars collection when you don't have certain characters. Okay, especially Lando, which they put out last year out of left field. Okay, who's the other one that we're missing, guys? And look, there's actually two versions of this.
Lobot?
Yeah, Lobot be perfect, baby.
Oh, my God.
Whether it's this one here, and then they actually, I believe, I'm going to pull this up, had one here with the Airborne Trooper. which was a Hot Toys, I think in 2018. Or, it had that type of, weathering on it. 3PO. Are we going to get C3PO? Are we going to get a complete Star Wars collection from Hot Toys? Because we just don't have them.
This is the one that honestly just blows my mind.
It blows my mind.
We've talked about it before. I mean, there's no logical reason as to why there's been some releases, but we don't have a C3PO. I mean, you've had 2 iterations, maybe even 3 of R2D2, but still no C3PO. And I mean, the Sideshow one's okay. I mean, it's got its flaws, but it blows my mind that there is no C3PO yet. And to this day, has not been any sign of a C3PO.
Yeah.
Dante.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this is long overdue, and they have to. I just couldn't see this in diecast. I mean, again, the one that I used to have was at the Machination one, the fully diecast, and that's my biggest regret was selling it, in hopes that Hot Toys will do it. Right? Is that the Sideshow one?
No, this is the diecast.
No,
that's it. The Machinations, right?
It's Bandai.
Oh, Bandai.
No,
okay.
This one is actually Hot Toys.
No, the one that Rod has.
Oh, the one that Rod has. I'm sorry. Let me pull that up. Where is Rod? How do I do this again? Solo layout.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, baby.
Yeah, that one's really cool.
Looks good too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that figures like it's hard to get
It's heavy.
for under for $800.
It's very heavy.
That one is going for a nice penny too.
Yeah.
I mean, Hot Toys needs to do that. I mean, we need C-3PO. It has to be. I mean, we got so many R2D2s already. So I can actually see this happening with a 2-pack, just to drop another R2D2 because they're pretty much sold out.
We talked about that on your
R2D2s.
show yesterday, and I'm actually shocked that Hot Toys does not have the ultimate 2-pack. Come on, it's the two characters that started it all, really. The 2 droids who tell the whole story about the whole darn thing.
Is Sangrel right there? If it's a 2-pack, diecast C-3PO, diecast R2D2, forget it.
Will, C-3PO. Could we get a 2-pack of C-3PO? Could we get a diecast C-3PO? Can we just get a C-3PO, please?
Aries, this is long. I've long maintained this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard when it comes to collecting. Like if there's one figure that I've ever been more confused that does not exist, it's C-3PO. Like they've made almost every other Star Wars character in existence, at least the main ones. But C-3PO is in every saga film, and yet he doesn't exist in figure form.
It's like releasing the Power Rangers without the Red Rangers.
Exactly,
it doesn't make any sense.
Like, and you've like you said, released 2 R2s, at least 2 or 3, right? And like no C-3PO. Even if you don't make him diecast, people would be a little upset. But I mean, even if not, like if you want to keep the price low on him, even if you make one, people will be happy still. So. I would love for him to be diecast. If that's the case, you're looking at the $300, $350 range at minimum, even if he comes with no accessories. But at the same time, everyone's going to get a C-3PO. Like, I have the Sideshow one, and I really like it. Like, it more than suffices for now. Like, it works. Like, it's not terrible, but like Hugo was saying, it's okay. It's not great, but it's good. Hot Toys would blow it out of the water, obviously, but C-3PO would have mass appeal, I feel like. I feel like everyone has been clamoring for one. I firmly believe I can't maintain the idea that he wouldn't exist at some point. I think they have to make him. I don't know when. I can't believe they haven't already.
Would it be a 40th anniversary Return of the Jedi version with the chair, perhaps, and give us another Ewok to go with him?
How many like benchmark timelines have they missed already?
Ewok.
Yeah, I mean it's like, but yeah, maybe. But I mean they've missed so many opportunities already. That's the problem. Like I mean,
why would you need that Ewok to sell C-3PO? Makes no sense.
No, but it'd be neat
what
to have
what
one.
are we missing here?
Yeah,
Like, what do we know?
that?
What do you not know the Hot Toys knows? Because
There's something with that, right? Because it sounds why?
There's something with C-3PO that we must just all be missing, and every discussion is missing because I don't. There's no logic for why he doesn't exist.
The only thing that I could think of is it was in the plans. I pulled up 2 on the screen. The one that had the more wear and tear, and then the one with the red arm. Maybe it was what we're going back to. Talk about in the beginning of the show, that there was a little bit of a pause on Star Wars Hot Toys figures. I mean, really figures in general. Let's be honest. I mean, I collected all the lines, and they just were not moving. Last Jedi Black Series figures, any of these figures. Look, they didn't even make the 3/4 inch ones, 3 3/4 inch ones with the Rise of Skywalker. I mean, they just were not selling a whole lot of that, and maybe they were just like, let's put it on the burner. But now all of a sudden, you're seeing all this interest in Star Wars and new collectors coming on in. Is it possible that some of these ones that they're like in the boardroom, no, let's wait, that they're talking about now, like, hey, let's do it. It's hot. Let's go. Maybe that's it, and maybe that's what they're going to do.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. I think it's the same as everybody else, man. It's absolutely ridiculous that we don't have a C-3PO, man. It's like the weirdest. It's like bread and butter right there. Like everybody's like a 2-pack, right? 2-pack.
Yeah.
You know, die-cast.
And
Everybody would buy it.
And here's the thing too. It's R2D2 and C-3PO are one of the most iconic characters in Star Wars. Like the first thing, here's the thing.
yeah.
I have a friend who knows nothing about Star Wars, right? He only knows. I said, "What do you know about Star Wars?" Like name 2 characters. He goes like C-3PO and Luke Skywalker. If you just want one figure to represent for each franchise, C-3PO and R2D2. If you only have those 2 for your Star Wars collection, that's it. That's good. If you can afford only 2 figures for Star Wars, those 2 can represent Star Wars. And
I would say
great.
Darth Vader.
Darth Vader too.
Darth
but
Vader
I'm
would
saying,
be in there, but yeah.
Yeah, but like those 2 figures, I mean.
Yeah, people see those and they know exactly who they are.
Yeah, they do.
Right.
Even if you don't watch Star Wars, you know who those 2 are.
Right, and here's the thing. The first 5 or 10 minutes of New Hope was C-3PO and R2-D2.
Yeah.
I'm just mind blown. And they're in everything. They're from the original trilogy, the prequels, the sequels, the Clone Wars, and the Rebels. Well, not the Mandalorian, but maybe we might get them in the Mandalorian. But other than that, they've been in everything. 98% of the time, always in Star Wars.
You know, at one point, at one point I was thinking when they didn't announce C-3PO for, Hot Toys C-3PO, I was thinking, okay, I was trying to think the reason behind it. I mean, we got R2-D2, sideshow R2-D2, and then we got Hot Toys R2-D2, right? They were pretty much not competing, but almost the same, in stock at the same time. Yeah. And then I was thinking, okay, then we have C-3PO, sideshow C-3PO. So why not doing, Hot Toys C-3PO? So, what is the reason? And I'm still trying to find something like logic to think about, but I can't find anything.
Could it be a contract? It could be a contract.
It could be a contract. Maybe what they need to do is they say, hey, okay, when is the C-3PO license for Sideshow expiring? And then Hot Toys will take over.
It could be that.
Maybe it's that. Maybe that's the reason why that we haven't seen it. Maybe they can do R2-D2 and in both, Hot Toys and Sideshow at the same time, because it's more like I guess share contract or whatever.
Exactly, because that would be a logical reason, Dante, because that would be something that we could all understand.
Right.
Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense.
Makes no sense.
That makes no sense.
Right. Well, at the same time, Hot Toys doesn't really like doing, droids, creatures, or vehicles. They're pretty rare. So,
they
like
did
when
a
they
good
do
job
happen,
on
they're
IG-11.
right.
Yeah.
They're few and
IG-11
far
is
between.
fantastic.
So it's could be weird Hot Toys logic. Oh, we gave them an R2-D2.
Yeah, but I can understand that thing. But think about it, right? If it's a C-3PO, which is a very known character, and IG-11, I mean, come on, you will choose C-3PO. So that's why I actually thought about that too, but it didn't connect the dots. So I'm thinking more is like Rod says, contract related, than other than that they just need to wait until a specific period happens. Yeah.
Brother Cousins
What's up,
is
buddy?
joining us here
Cousins.
at the end. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man?
What's up, everybody? This is a great panel we got here. Look at all these
Hey.
people in here, man.
I've been seeing Brother Cousins everywhere, man. Last night and just
real life space pimp. That's what they call him.
Hey, I try to be, guys.
Yeah, man, you do great at it. You're the goat.
Brother Cousins, we're going on the last couple here before we wrap things up, and I'm glad you dropped in because this is one that I actually did get a call from the Hot Toys Wizard on this one.
Wow.
And so this one is actually imminent. But let me just get your perspective on this, because you do need to, with all these new collectors, there's not a Darth Vader on the market. Sideshow has one. Yeah. And you can reissue the Empire Strikes Back one for the 3rd time. I just don't see it. I don't think they're going to do that because they're not going to get me to buy it. But even though I got Darth Vader's in my collection, I would certainly as heck buy this in a heartbeat as an OG fan. I think we almost forget about this scene at the end of the movie. Come on.
Yeah.
They already have this in 1/4.
Yeah. I definitely see them making this in a 1/6 scale. This would be great. I mean, personally, I need another Darth Vader myself, a Hot Toys Darth Vader myself. I still have the one from New Hope. So this would be great. Yeah, and the quarter scale of this is just a phenomenal piece. I'm actually thinking about getting this. This will probably be my first quarter scale Hot Toys figure because it is so nice.
It's so
the only quarter scale you need, man.
Yeah, but there you
so
go.
nice.
I mean,
There you go.
like-
And to have that in 1/6 scale would just be phenomenal. We need that. We definitely need that. So yeah, I definitely see them doing that, especially with all that's going on with the Kenobi show. I know they're saying that we'll see Darth Vader, but in a different type of way. And I'm thinking that means we'll see a classic Darth Vader, but we may also see some scenes with the helmet off, or more of a progression to that armor, where he pretty much had that armor and breathing apparatus at the end of the last prequel movie. I can't remember.
Yeah, Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith. Thank you.
Right.
Right.
So, but I'm sure they're bringing Hayden Christensen back, and with him being inside the actual suit, I'm sure they're going to give us some scenes with the helmet off. So I'm guessing we'll see, some more scenes of him with the helmet off, and to show him in pain, because a lot like fair-weather Star Wars fans really don't realize that Darth Vader was actually in a lot of pain, in that that apparatus is to keep him alive and to keep the whole time. I mean, he's really a sad character. I mean, we all know he's the biggest badass in the galaxy, but he was in a lot of pain. So it'll be real interesting to see where they take his character, and maybe we can feel a little bit of sympathy for him. So to say all that is, I think we're definitely going to get another figure of the Kenobi version of Darth Vader, but I also see them putting this out in a 1/6 scale.
Anthony, I want to point this out to people that may have forgotten, and I grew up with this character. This is iconic world cultural trending. With 130 watching in here, please hit the like button if you haven't already. This is Darth Vader. You can try and compare him to Iron Man. You can try and compare him to Boba Fett. You can try and compare him to the Mandalorian. This is Darth Vader, and everybody knows who Darth Vader is. They could come out with this. They could come out with the Hayden Christensen version. They could come out with Revenge of the Sith version. I'm going to buy all three of them, baby. I don't see how they go wrong with this.
They don't, because here's the thing. It's kind of zoom, but if I move up, I mean, I don't know how many here have this guy, but I mean, this Aries, you can tell, right? I mean, this guy is amazing. I have to have him without, the mask, just because, I mean, the sculpt is like phenomenal. Phenomenal. This guy, I mean, at quarter scale, completely does this guy justice, but they could take this and just shrink him. If they did that, they just, what I mean? It wouldn't take away from the presence of a quarter scale Vader at all, but give everybody the opportunity to have this in a 6 scale figure. And this is the definitive Vader. Like, he is, you put the helmet on and he's back to, standard Vader. So like, that's what they need to do. It's a best of both worlds figure. And you're right, man. Iron Man ain't got shit on Vader, man. It's Darth Vader. Like, he is the king, for this. So,
I think this would be a hard pass for a lot of any diehard Star Wars fan. I mean, for me personally, I couldn't know this existed and not had it. Yeah, because this is probably the biggest moment for me. Kiko.
Yeah, this is the kind of the crown jewel or the final piece to the Vader story or the Vader legacy, because we've had the New Hope version, we've had the Rogue One version, we've had the Empire Strike version, and this is the final. This is the last iteration. I mean, they're gonna make a bazillion versions, obviously, but this is the final moment where you finally see him in his humanity, and kind of when they're talking about, there's just so much to this story to where one of my favorite lines in the entire trilogy is when he says, "I gotta take you home, Father. I gotta save you," and he says, "You already have, Luke." And it's that face staring at him, which I love. He says, "Let me look into you with my own eyes," and that's when you finally get to see Vader unmasked, which is fantastic. And if I don't think there's any chance that a Star Wars fan would pass this up, not a chance.
Will?
Yeah, this is a really tricky one because I love this quarter scale figure and I almost bought it a million times. It's funny, like with quarter scale, I tend to flock more towards statues. Like if I get 1/6 figures, I love those. I actually have Rogue One and I have Empire. I don't have any other ones yet because the New Hope one I was waiting on, and I'm waiting to see what Hot Toys does with the Return of Jedi Vader. I mean, it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of when. I mean, Sideshow I know did theirs, so I think it's a matter of like Hot Toys waiting on waiting for the right opportunity. But yeah, I mean, I think you all make really good points. Like Brother Cousins said, basically, there's gonna obviously be a Vader in Kenobi, right? That's the one I think I'm most interested in seeing. I really want to hold out and see what that's going to look like. We're definitely getting one. They've already said that there's a rematch between Obi-Wan and Vader in that show. So that's gonna cause the internet to explode. I mean, talk about Luke and Mando. I mean, talk about Obi-Wan and Vader fighting again. That's a whole nother level. I mean, that's going to be. Yeah, it's going to be insane. But I really want to see what they do with that and with the Anakin. Maybe they give us like a half destroyed mask in the Kenobi version or something. Yeah. Something really cool and unique like that to give us a unique Vader. But as far as Return of the Jedi goes, yeah, that outfit is fantastic. It really is. Like I said, I maintain A New Hope is my favorite, but, because it's just the most raw looking. But, Return of the Jedi is very polished and very finalized and, and sophisticated looking. So, yeah, I think they're going to do it. It's just a matter of when. I think maybe... I don't know if Dante says, sometime this year, then maybe I would think maybe it'd be like next year sometime, but that's just speculation. People are going to buy any Vader that comes out. So
Dante, what do you think?
Yeah, Vader is a money maker, man. Any Vader will sell no matter what they put. No matter what they put. 100% agree.
Yeah.
Well, Will brings up a point real quick just to say that they probably will do a Hayden Christensen Vader because that's the big hype. That's why he's coming back. Right? If he's not back, then you don't need him, right? You could just have a Vader like Rogue One or anything else. So that alone, I think, is going to sell immensely with if he had a head sculpt with that. But at the same time, it's still a different Vader too. Mm-hmm. So I think that Return of the Jedi Vader has to shrink down to 6 scale as well. Because to Dante's point, it's Vader. Any Vader is going to sell. So if they both came out, I think we would probably all buy both of them.
Yeah. I think like KG was mentioning, he was saying like if you were a casual Star Wars collector and only had like 2 figures, you would have maybe C-3PO and R2-D2. I think Vader would absolutely be. If you had one Star Wars figure, it would be Vader. Like sure. I think if you were just a casual Star Wars fan and you had one figure and like you'd be Vader. And even if anyone knows, like I think Aries, you were saying, like if you had someone who's never watched Star Wars before, they would come into your house and be like, I know exactly who that is. I know who Darth Vader is. Yeah, like he is the Star Wars character in my opinion. Like, I mean, everyone knows Luke too, but Luke's not even as popular as Darth Vader, I feel like. Like, he's the main character. Darth Vader is Star Wars to me, I think, to most people.
I totally agree.
For sure. And before we end here, I'm actually getting a call right now from the Hot Toys Wizard. Just hold on. Bear with me, guys. Thank you. Gracious panel. Wizard. Hey, you sound like Mark Hamill. Is this Mark Hamill? Oh, okay. No, okay. It's the Hot Toys Wizard. I get it. Are you sure? Are you positive? All right. Thank you. I've heard this before, but you're okay. Bye. All right, guys. It is imminent. And as we end the show, that this character will be in the Andor series and will also be in the Obi-Wan series and will result in an official Hot Toys figure, and you all know what's coming.
Oh,
exactly.
Jimmy Smith's. I mean, come on.
Really?
It's definitely in the Andor series, definitely in the Obi-Wan series. I can't wait, guys. I can't wait. I need a Jimmy Smith's. I need a Bail Organa. I need Leia's dad. Come on. It's coming. You heard it here from 6 Scale Cantina. We will get a Bail Organa Hot Toys figure in the future.
Well,
I think we will.
Absolutely.
At this point, we've been brainwashed already. It's gonna
happen now. Yeah.
Notice I didn't tell you when, but it's gonna happen someday. Listen,
it's happening in December. Can you imagine?
I expect a robot.
If this came out of left field, oh my god. That would be crazy. Yeah, Lobot.
I expect the Lobot.
Dude, we need a Bosk.
Bosk is coming.
Yeah, for Book of Boba, he's coming.
Book of Boba. Yeah,
How
absolutely.
about Dengar?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah,
I think
we're
they're
getting
gonna
all the
have
bounties.
bounty hunters. They're gonna have all the bounty hunters in the Book of Boba Fett. So
Well, they're going to basically redo IG-11.
Yeah, that's true.
IG-88.
Yeah.
Do you guys think they're going to reissue the OG Boba Fett from the anniversary?
Which one, KG?
The 40th anniversary Boba Fett, the Empire Strikes Back version.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they're going to reissue? Because I know there's going to be flashbacks and we're going to get more bounty hunters. Do you think possibly a reissue for that one?
Now you're talking about a third one.
Yeah,
we're talking.
It's already reissued.
You know what I almost would think, KG? Have they reissued that Return of the Jedi one yet? That's the one I'm thinking.
That's the one I was actually talking about, the Return of the Jedi one, yeah.
Oh, the Return. I thought it was ESB. No, I think that they will, actually. I've thought about that. What do you guys think? I think that they could reissue that.
Absolutely.
I think they're just going to do new ones.
Yeah, there's so many new Boba looks coming out.
Yeah, it's tough to say.
There's 2 on pre-order right now, and there's going to be however many more. So at least
one
more.
Boba Mania.
Yeah, exactly.
Asajj Ventress. Are they going to have any flashbacks of kind of like
who
helped bring up Boba?
That would
when he
be
was young, maybe.
From your mouth to hot toys. We need an Asajj Ventress.
You would go for that, Ron? You would buy that? Would that be day one for you?
It would, because that one that they did for Sideshow sucks. It's so bad. It's very, very, very bad.
What are you talking about? It's a good figure.
Barbie that was shaved their head and painted blue. It's just weird.
I'd buy it. I'd buy the Asajj Hot Toys.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh, how about she's leaving my? She's God. How about that bounty hunter in Clone Wars, KG, or one of you guys? The one with the pink helmet.
The what?
The one with the pinkish helmet, pinkish and purple. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh.
Zam Whistle?
No, that would be cool to get a Zam Whistle from Attack of the Clones.
I was going to say Sabine Wren, but I know she's not.
Sabrine, yeah, Sabrine Wren.
Sabine Wren, okay, yeah.
That can be. I mean, one.
I mean, there's rumors of her coming on Ahsoka, so I mean, why not?
Did you guys hear that Ahsoka is now going to be in the Obi-Wan series? Was that the thing that broke yesterday?
I think it was Anakin being in Ahsoka.
Anakin's in the...
Yeah, Ahsoka. Yeah, he's in the show, yeah.
That's gonna
Hayden Christensen's going to be in everything.
Yeah.
Showing up in everywhere.
Oh, it's going to be nuts.
Yeah.
Do you think they're hunting her down with the Inquisitors in the Obi-Wan series? Do you think Ahsoka's going to be in it?
Hopefully we're going to have the Inquisitors.
I think it'll be like, if she's going to be in the Obi-Wan show, it's going to be like the Mando season 2 where, she comes out of nowhere, and then she's like in one episode, then we see her, and then we'll see her in the Ahsoka show. Now, that's my guess, but I could be wrong.
The one character I want to see before the Ahsoka series, and I hope they do more than just mention his name, is Thrawn.
Yes.
Oh my God! Please.
That is inevitable.
Oh,
yeah, he's got to be there.
Yeah, I think from Sideshow it's good enough for me.
The question is who plays Thrawn.
I think the actor that voiced him.
Lars Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
Oh, is it going to be? Okay, I guess I missed that. Yeah.
I've heard Benedict Cumberbatch, but he's like, I don't want to be blue. So
Benedict Cumberbatch.
I would love
Lars
that.
Mikkelsen has been officially cast as Thrawn.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, Thrawn's amazing.
Listen, do you guys think that Sam Jackson? I heard about the tweet. I really think that he's showing up again. I think if he shows up in the Book of Boba Fett, it might be in the very last scene, like what they did with Luke, and it could be something that I think if they want to take Boba Fett's arc further, if he's, no matter what Boba Fett's into, his shift probably changes if he sees the killer of his father in front of him, and he probably goes out on a mission to hunt him down and get vengeance. I just feel like they're going to incorporate him.
That's a great point.
And we necessarily don't know what the plot is for Book of Boba. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen, as far as I know, right? We don't know what's the main plot, who's he going after. So who knows?
Boba.
Maybe. Who was it?
It's about Boba.
But no, I'm just saying, like, what if maybe Mace Windu is the main antagonist, I guess you could say. Maybe he might be the villain. Who knows? They might leave a cliffhanger at the end of the first episode.
He could be disgruntled. And one of the theories that we were talking about, Desi and I, on one of the on my Aries Terrington show, was, and I think someone else brought it up too, but it was real interesting that they have to figure out, they purposely mentioned that Grogu got rescued from Order 66 and from the Jedi Temple.
Mm-hmm.
But Anakin killed everybody in the temple. So who got Grogu out before? And I'm thinking he flew out the window, Sam Jackson, and then Anakin and the Emperor were talking for a little bit. So is it possible he had some time to maybe crawl in and maybe get the chosen one that he thought was the chosen one? Because he never was confident that Anakin was. He mentioned it even in the transport bus. He was kind of antagonistic about it. Like, yeah, supposedly he is.
Interesting.
And maybe he got Grogu out, but maybe he could. I don't know. I'm thinking that could be a thing that they tackle.
That's a good theory.
That is.
Yeah, it is. And
Or
I think
maybe, or maybe, and I think I heard this from Star Wars Meg. I don't know if you guys have seen.
Yes,
her.
I watch her.
She mentioned something about her his mom, Grogu's mom, which was the other Yoda-like character in episode 1, I believe.
Yaddle?
They were in the
Yaddle?
yes, Yaddle. Yeah, that's where they say that this is kind of like Yoda's the father and she's the mom, and I mean, at this point, anything is possible. I think
She's the father. We don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like maybe they knew they protect her. That's why when Yoda said to Obi-Wan, that's our last hope. I said, no, there's another. Maybe he knew that, But again, now every line from the OT can be kind of like take it into a different
they
context.
can retcon it and like
Right.
make it however. And
right.
No,
But I think that if we're gonna go through the for Windu, that he was the one who saved Grogu per se, when he was falling the window. I mean, come on, he's falling off the window. We saw Darth Maul be cut in half and surviving. So what are the chances that this guy can actually, grab something and prevent him from falling, right? Like what happened with Luke when he was fighting Rey. When
he just
was
used
falling,
the Force, man. Just
he used the Force
down.
to stop the fall, right?
Out of all the
He was
people that died in Star Wars, him surviving makes the most sense to me.
It makes the most sense. But I'm
Exactly.
thinking in my head, like, what other Jedis could have saved him? I'm just like, no, Mace Windu sounds. I feel like that's the more accurate one.
I mean, Darth Maul got cut in half and lived. So I mean,
I know.
And he
Palpatine-
felt
How-
does he not have
returned.
intestines? Like, how does this work?
But you know what? There's a good point. Reximon Rex says relationships were forbidden. But I think, and again, this is according to Star Wars Mag. I just follow her because I think she's cool. She mentioned that because that species was in danger of extinction, that
Maybe.
relationship can happen just to.
So the Nuki was
prevent-
allowed. The
Sorry?
Nuki was allowed between Yoda
Only
and
that,
Creation,
though. Only
Maybe
that.
they just
No
were like, they were
attachment.
doing some shots, some
Yoda's a
How
true
many
G.
times
Yeah.
he's like,
I'm telling you, man. He's like, I got you.
Yeah, it
Yoda
could
clearly
be.
never paid child support.
Oh yeah, it was Jar Jar Binks who saved
I
him.
know, right?
Well, it could be also why we haven't seen a Mace Windu. I was thinking about that earlier too. Because like you said, he did post some tweets and they had to take him down. you
Yeah.
know? So
And
he's in
here's the thing-
something.
And here's the thing too, like I said with the Obi-Wan, what if they're just saving it for something? There are many
Yeah, it
things
could
that
be.
Hot Toys have done before where they just saved for something, right? Many people were dying to see it, right? Until like a series or a movie comes out, and that specific character was in that film, and then they announced it, right? So I'm
Right.
thinking like, it could be a possibility that they're waiting for the right moment, the right series to it, for it to be announced for the Mace Windu. Who knows? Maybe a flashback scene of, Book of Boba. We could see, in his perspective, how he died, right? So, I mean, there's that possibility as well.
Well, and he could go. So you mentioned it before. He could be a villain in a way.
He could.
And because maybe he did rescue Grogu, but then he was like, oh, these chosen ones, they turn. We can't put all our faith into one person. Look what happened to Anakin, and maybe that's an arc they can go down. He's kind of disgruntled. I mean, the guy was electrocuted, got his arm cut off, and fell out a window. So maybe he's a little upset. But if they do that, please don't make him depressing like Hobo Luke. They got to make him where he's just like a bad guy now, and he's like going to go out and do what he's going to do. But,
No, I think they're gonna make.
And
it
there
right.
could be a redemption sort of for Mace Windu where it's like, they hate each other at first, and towards the end of the series they work together. You know, we have seen that through some, movies like Marvel movies, Star Wars films. I mean,
Enemy Mine.
huh?
Enemy Mine.
Enemy
Yeah.
Mine,
Enemy
yeah.
Mine, yeah.
That's a good
Yeah.
one. Yeah, that's a good
I'd
comparison.
say you guys have to keep in mind though that a lot of people say, well, Hot Toys, their timings, they don't really have timing or this or that. Maybe with Marvel, even though they're both the same, right? They're under Disney, but an interesting thing to note is the Disneyland in Japan, right? And if you guys know Disneyland or any Disney park, right? Everything inside Disney parks is Disney, right? It's like Disney Cafe, Disney everything. But in the Disney in Japan, in the gates, there's a Hot Toys store inside Disney World, over there in Japan, which is, and that's that doesn't happen with any other company. They don't have stores inside their parks. It's all Disney. So there's a huge, they advertise for them now. They're at that point. So I'm thinking things are they're definitely coincided. It's not like, hey, here's the license for Star Wars, just have at it. No, it doesn't work that way. So it's just something interesting to think about.
Listen, I could sit here and talk with you guys all night. This was super awesome, actually. I can't wait to do this with all you again. Hey, did you guys hit the like button there that are in here? Please hit that like button. Really, really appreciate it. And let's look. I got the links to all these guys' channel in the video description below. Their stuff. You need to, everyone here has got a great vibe. I want to give you guys just 30 seconds each, not a whole lot, just to talk about what's going on your channel. KG, tell me what's going on.
Yeah, Aries, thanks for inviting me. Yeah, I mean, expect live streams for me here and then. Trying to do something different with my channel. I'm trying to do maybe like a posing section, where, like Leia and Jedi had last night. I thought that was pretty fun. I might do that for my channel. And yeah, I had my movie last night. It was a big opening last night for Dune, and watching it again, it's great. So I can't wait for Willy Wonka. I'm on the set right now, so
you're a big star.
Yeah, man. But yeah, like Aries, I'm glad I come here because I love your Star Wars knowledge, and every time I come here, it's fun talking about Star Wars. So thank you.
Hey, I love pouring the coffee, and I think you have a great channel, and you have a great vibe, and the whole community really. I just love the whole Hot Toys and 6-scale community. Anthony, what's going on? 30 seconds.
30 seconds. All right, let's go. So we got reviews coming out. We do our streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Like me, Rodrigo, Shane, Joe. Guests. You guys are always welcome. And and Rod will kill me if I don't say it. So at 750 subs, we're doing a Hot Toy giveaway, and then at 1,000 subs, we're doing another one. So just stay tuned for that. Yeah.
Will, it was so good to have you on here for the first time. Can't wait to have you back again. But what's going on your channel?
Yeah, absolutely, Aries. I appreciate you having me, man. It was a real blast meeting everyone. Like it was really fun. So, but yeah, my channel, I'll be doing. I stick to the movie reviews mostly in the live stream. So I'll be doing No Time to Die. That's I'm working on, and also The Last Duel. I saw that with Adam Driver and Matt Damon and Jodie Comer, and that was really good. So I'll be reviewing those two. And I hear beeping, but
it's time.
Oh, your time's up.
Gotcha. My time ran out really quickly. So I'll be doing this Figures and Flicks with Justin's collection. I'll be doing live streams myself. Yeah.
What is that noise?
I have no idea. It's not.
Kiko, you better go quick. What's going on?
Yeah, apparently we're running out real quick, so let's see if we can do this in 15 seconds.
There's a bomb going off somewhere.
not good. Yeah. But Kiko Collects on Instagram and YouTube. We are so darn close to being able to get that 2021 mark for 2021 on YouTube, and then also I do the toy photography on the Instagram, and I'm really close to just kind of switching that over to just being a full digital creation type thing. Not only doing the toy photography, but also more of the YouTube pieces, kind of combining it all into one. But go check out Kiko Collects if you like, and also the Toy Owl podcast. We do that on Tuesdays, where me and Order 66 Junkie Dave just sit there and shoot the shoot on Tuesdays and talk all things plastic. So thank you once again, Aries, for letting me come on back on.
Oh yeah, it was a real blast having you here. And Rodrigo, it's so great to have one of my insiders. Hope to have more insiders on here. And I know you're always also part of the 6-scale mafia, so I would assume that people can catch you on 6-scale, right? 6-scale mafia.
Yeah. On 6-scale mafia with Anthony. I also have something in the works, but I'm keeping it quiet right now. I'll tell you as soon as we know.
Awesome. Looking forward to that. Brother Cousins.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Yeah, so got a bunch of reviews coming my way, coming everybody's way. Yeah, I just got Obi-Wan Kenobi from A New Hope, a Grail figure that I've been after.
Oh, sweet, bro.
Nice.
Yeah, that's gonna be my first retro review. I don't do retro reviews like that, but I think this one needs a retro review. So I'm gonna be, so I'm gonna be doing that one, and I got a couple of new videos coming out, and I'll be doing my first live stream, which I've been scared to do. So I'm going to be reaching out to some of you guys so I can so y'all can help me out with that. So that's going to be real fun and real exciting. And that'll probably
don't invite Rod. He's going to be negative.
I'm just kidding. That's awesome. Looking forward to it. Dante, the maestro, the man of hot collectibles. What you got going on?
Hey, well, thanks for having me. Nice to meet Will and Kiko in person. I spoke to Kiko a couple times on Instagram. Really good page and really good photos too. Well, what's going on? We're gonna have the Tuscan Raider review coming probably Monday night or Tuesday morning. What's next? Episode 4 is probably coming Wednesday, and then we're gonna have a live stream next Friday at either 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. Eastern. So I will confirm the time, throughout the course of the week. And obviously, all of you guys are invited if you can show up. Once again, thank you so much, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram, my Facebook group, Six Skull Media. So hopefully to see you guys very soon.
Well, listen, this has been great. Really had a fun time here tonight. It was nice to be back on Saturday at Saturday night with the Market Show Live. And look, everybody in the chat, please subscribe to all of these guys in here. I got the links within the video description below. Your support is much appreciated. Please go ahead and hit that like button if you haven't already, because we have to have Howard listen and watch some of these bombshells we talked about today. Look, I don't always buy coffee out, but when I do, I buy from 6 Scale Cantina. Stay thirsty, my friends.
See you guys
soon.
Peace.